The podcast on Haunted Hill will contain spoilers and swearing.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
Please help us, Michael. Be one of us.
I didn't tell you my name.
Hang up.
I didn't tell them my name.
They're all a part of it. They're all parts of it.
Come. It is time to keep your appointment.
Hello and welcome to the podcast on Haunted Hill, episode 184. My name is Gav.
My name is Dan.
We are together, Gavdan, or Dagav, if you
Gadav.
like. Yeah, welcome everybody. If it's your first time,
Then welcome, Brent.
if you're a returning guest,
Then welcome back.
and if it's your first time, no,
If you're a casual,
just if you're just whatever, you're a
just
bit in
slipping
and
around
out.
the side.
Yeah.
Just slipping around the side.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Thank you very much for coming along again. We don't normally just, if it is your first time, we don't normally just go blah, 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 blah. But we don't script either. We are pretty much a freestyle. We're like 80s rappers of the podcast world, aren't we, Dan?
We are. I've always thought that about us, to be honest with you.
You never edit, and we just freestyle it, and whatever comes out of our brains at the time and place and the moment in the universe, then that happens, and we record it. And then you guys, wherever you are in the universe, indulge in it orally in your ear holes.
And it's worked well for almost 12 years, so, you know,
It seems to be fine.
yeah, fuck it. So, this episode is one of our patron episode 184,
Yeah.
and I've just polished this crown up here, and that's all nicely polished up for our King
I don't know
patron.
what cream you used to polish that, but it sounded
This is-
sticky.
It's my special man polish, and I polished this crown up for our King patron Kevin S. Fife.
Well done, Kev. Well done.
S. Fife. I always want to say it in trainer man voice. Kevin, he selected a couple of sort of creature features, slimy, get under your skin type movies. One of which I'd never seen.
Both new for me. I've not seen them.
Ooh. Okay, so he selected 1976 Squirm, about the killer worms, which in my head, I've seemed to have muddled over the years with slugs.
Yeah.
But I've definitely seen it before because I remember a few parts about it.
Same amount of letters, starts with an S. Creepy crawlies,
Yeah.
slithery.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, well, we did have, obviously, in the 70s, not to cut you off about what you're about to say, but very quickly, we did have in the 70s massive animal love horror, didn't we? We just so much animal horror, Day of the Animals and all sorts.
Yeah.
And even the wee squirmies as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Squirm, and that's being paired up with a movie that neither of us had seen, and that is Boogens from 1981, which I'd never even heard of, never seen until Kevin suggested it. I can't wait to talk about these two movies. So that's what he's going to be talking about. Obviously, he sent us in a fantastic email, which I'm going to be reading out just before we get into our reviews. So, Kevin, you are the king. You sit on the throne for this episode in your newly polished crown. And I'll try and fit in as many innuendos in your endo as I can, because I know you're a big fan of our innuendos, Kevin. So there'll be a lot of those, as much as I can. Anyway, I'll try. What I'm trying to say is, I'll fit in as much as I can.
He'll slip in as much as he can.
Even that's an innuendo in itself. So, how are you, Gab, my lovely friend?
Yeah, well, no real complaints really. I'll tell you what, there you go. Here's one. It's fresh in my mind. Otherwise, if it's anything past 6 hours, then you got no chance with me. Just down the gym earlier, and just people that don't put weights away. It's not many of them. Every once in a while, you get someone that doesn't put the weights away, and it's like trip hazards and shit. Or you just don't leave weights just there. And this dude, the first thought was on a bar pull type thing, whatever, it's just for your biceps, and he just left weights on. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And some other people got on there, then they just left him, but they were newbies as well, never seen these guys. Anyway, and then he did it again, but just with dumbbells, and literally left them next to the bench, between benches, just there, and just left them.
That is a trip hazard. We've
and
all
that's
seen
just
Final
like, no cunt
Destination.
does that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, when I went over to him, he had this sort of a unique look, and I couldn't help but look at this man. And he's in his tight white top, quite muscular and that, had a little moustache, not saying he looked like Hitler, dark hair sort of coming down to the side, a few tattoos, and he had an Indian tattoo down his arm. And then I looked at his flask, his little drink cup, and it's a Red Hot Chili Peppers drink cup, and I went, oh my god, you think you're Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
My God.
And I was like, oh my god, that makes it even worse. There's nothing wrong with Chili Peppers, I like Chili Peppers, but that makes it worse that you think you're just trying to be someone, which is really bad, and you're leaving dumbbells everywhere.
What you should have said to him, Gav, is
should I
see
say?
these dumbbells, mate.
Yeah.
Put them away now. Put them away now. That's what you should have said. You see?
If I'd done that, that'd been hilarious, because he would have known what's up, and then he would have just been like, yeah, so what? It's just the fact that
and then he would have said, I don't know where they go. Did they go here? And you would have gone, no, you got to take them on the other side.
I don't know what that one is. I'm sure if I'd have sat there for a while, I could have probably come up with some buttes, but and I was just taken aback by the whole looking down there. It's like this flask, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I was like, oh my god! It all just I had that Jaws moment. The camera went back and forth on me. He thinks he's Anthony from Chili Peppers. This is really weird.
The only time I've ever done that in my life is when I tried my best.
When you were like
obvious
16 or something?
I was about 13 or 14.
Okay, yeah.
And
when
I tried my best.
Identities are hard to discover, aren't they?
And you'll understand why it didn't work for obvious reasons when I tell you who. I tried my best when I was 13 or 14 to look as much like Will Smith as I could.
Please don't tell me you sort of just thought, I'm just gonna, Mum, you got any boot polish or anything? That'd be like,
No, it wasn't anything like that. No, it was basically during the summer. I had a moustache come in over the summer when I was about 13. Went back to school thinking, I think I look like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And we already dressed like him, some of my friends. We all wore like the bright colours anyway and stuff, like the neon. Because I've always been into hip hop, as you know, baseball caps and that. But in my head, I just thought, yeah, I think I look like Will Smith. So wrong. So wrong.
But you don't know. I remember, because I've always been a skater. I wear the sort of skateboardery, hip-hoppery type clothes. Always sort of have done, not baggy jeans like I used to. But all did that. I had all my buddies I skated with all the time. And the train stations where we skated, just around the corner from my parents' house, which was brilliant for me. Except not brilliant for my parents, because all the kids would come back to my house and party at my house. But apart from that, it was cool. But for 2 days, randomly, I was just like to the guys, yeah, I'm not coming out skating. They're like, why not? I said, I don't know. I thought I was a raver. For 2 days, I wore a record bag and like a duffel, like this kind of ravery jacket, and I walked downtown a couple times with a beanie on as well, and I walked past them, and they were like, what are you doing in here? I'm just going to go downtown. For 2 days, I thought I was a raver, and then that just wore off, and I was like, oh no, I'm just me who skates, you know.
I've done that. Funny enough, with rave.
It's identity, though, isn't it?
When I was about 15, I decided to listen to rave music for about a month. And I still do like old school rave music, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like the old school stuff from the early 90s. But after a month of listening to it, I was like, I just missed the hip hop. So I went back to it. Anyway, that's enough tangents about that.
And if we were covering the movie Identity, that would have been perfect.
It would have been perfect, but we're covering worms and mine monsters, so we're not.
Even in itself, that's a sexual innuendo. We've got holes of wiggly worms in two movies together.
Before we get into what we're watching, or what we've been watching,
a couple
what
of
we're
bits.
watching now, because that'd be rude if we were just watching something while we were recording. I just have a quick shout out to our friends over on the Eternal Sunshine of the Not So Spotless. Sorry, Eternal Darkness. I always get the name wrong. Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Minds. Kate and Matt. For anyone who hasn't listened to that show, Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Minds. There's a Facebook page, and you can find it anywhere you listen to this show, really. It's a great show, and we're friends with them. I've been on that show a couple of times. Obviously, Gav, you mentioned them in our last episode because you met up with them at Fright Fest.
Yeah.
And I've known Keith for a long, long time.
I don't think I mentioned the episode, actually. I do apologise. I was chatting away about those two individually, and I don't think I named the episode, and I meant to drop it, so I do apologise.
Oh, no worries. So I was chatting away to them, and they gave me a little shout out on their last episode, which dropped a couple of days ago. And I was chatting to them this afternoon and just said, I'll give you guys a shout out. So they've given me some specific messages to read out, Gav. Are you happy for me to do this?
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Pollination of podcasters.
That's exactly right. Interpollination of podcasters. That could be a fantastic name for a podcast in itself.
Yeah.
Kate says to let you know that she's also booked tickets to go and see the Nosferatu Radiohead thing, because you mentioned that.
Cool. Yeah, I need to have a look in the cinema ago. I literally thought of that today and thought, fuck, I need to figure out when that is. And I was just chatting about that to someone yesterday, actually, randomly.
She said she's watching it in the beautiful city of Bath, which is in the southwest of England.
I'm going to watch it in the beautiful town of Shower.
Oh, very funny. See what you did there. She said, also, thanks for the shout out, and tell Gav I owe him a pint for introducing me to Nick Vince, as he's now one of her clients at Twisted Thorn Publishing. So Kate's got her own business now where she's publishing manuscripts, books, etc.
Oh,
so he's now one of her clients.
That's good, because in fact I've actually been chatting to Kate to become one of her clients also, because I've got a book for her to do. Yeah, that's really cool. It's nice to do that though. It's nice to put people in touch with each other.
Yeah, networking. She also says, "Happy October, love you guys. Oh, and by the way, I'm listening to your newest episode, which meant I put the wrong postcode in." And been driving for an hour in the wrong direction, so I have to go back the other way now. So,
shit! Because we would. Oh no!
Because she just listened to us chatting shit.
Yeah, I did that once. I was driving along, and I was halfway to London, and I went, "What the fuck am I going to London for?" I was supposed to go in literally the other part of the country, and I was like, "Oh, what the shit?" Because I was really just into a podcast.
Matt, however, says, don't get caught with a giant tentacle dildo rammed up your arse over the Halloween period while you're watching your 31 Stephen King films.
I will try my best. Sarah and I are on holiday in a seaside town, so if there's any chance of tentacles, it's going to be then, I guess.
I feel like that one might have been more aimed at me as I'm doing 31 Stephen King films, but even so, both of us probably should watch out for tentacles.
I think everyone should watch out for the tentacles.
Kate also says, watch out, don't get tapeworms, because I told her what we were covering in this episode, Squirm, etc. Yeah. So don't get a tapeworm.
They're so yucky, those really long, thin ones. Ooh.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your shout out, guys. As I said, go check their show out if you're not already listening to it. The Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Minds.
Yeah, very good.
Good friends of ours.
Indeed. And good people. Worms are weird, aren't they?
They fucking are, mate.
They are weird.
They are weird.
I'm just thinking about that.
Before we talk about worms and all that kind of stuff.
Thanks for the message, guys. Do appreciate it. And I did very much enjoy hanging out with you guys at Fright Fest. So hopefully we could do it next year. And yeah, we should all get together at some point in some part of the country, get everyone together somehow. I don't know how.
Totally agreed. I still haven't met Matt in the flesh.
It might. What would be more sensible is we just did a big Teams thing. Everyone chatted today and we met up for do you know what I mean?
That would be sensible.
That would be really sensible.
But then you can't touch people, and I like to touch people.
Maybe that's safer that we do it through Teams. Then.
Dan's locked in the corner of the room like Hannibal Lecter. Is he all right? Yeah, he's a
sex
bit of a
pest.
toucher. He's a toucher.
He likes to touch.
They call him P. Diddy.
They call him the toucher.
So, what have we been watching? Well, Gab, I'm going to kick things off. Obviously, it's October, and we'll get into what that means for us horror fans in a moment. But aside from our 31 days and all that kind of business, first of all, happy October to all of you listeners and to Gav and everybody.
October, Daniel, son.
Spooky season is upon us. A couple of things I just wanted to quickly check off Did you watch the finale yet of Alien Earth?
Yeah, Sarah and I did it at the weekend. Managed to get together to do the last 2 episodes. It's really good, but it was weird
really
though because
good.
I was hoping it's not really a spoiler. I thought it was going to conclude possibly. I was hoping almost it's a one-off, but I'm happy for it to continue.
Same, yeah.
Without spoilers.
To be honest, it's made so much money for Disney Plus.
I think people have, I think people have enjoyed it, and it's probably done a lot of views.
It's been really, really good. And I think a lot of the actors in that who haven't been in stuff will go on to do big things, or we'll see a lot of careers move forward in that. I know some of the acting can be a bit ropey at times, but I thought the story was great, and it was a really different, fresh take on the Alien franchise. Really enjoyed it. That episode in the middle, though, is still one of the greatest pieces of TV horror I've ever seen. That's episode 5 or whatever it might have been. Really, really good.
You never know. I might even throw that in for one of my Halloweens, just that one episode. Because when you
so
said
good.
it's a standout, I was like, oh yeah, you could.
Yeah, it's so good.
No,
it's like that episode of Black Mirror with Kurt Russell's son. Sometimes I just watch that episode on its own because obviously Black Mirrors are all independent stories.
No, because I pick and choose. I've gone back and watched that one a few times actually because
It's a fantastic episode.
It's up Gav Street.
Yeah.
I watched.
It's right up your street.
Oh, it's right up my street. I watched my first actual, even though I know of Paul Nachi, Spanish actor. Even though I know of him, I've never really watched any of his films. I might have done. I don't know. So Sarah and I, the other night, quite late, we watched Werewolf Shadow.
Oh yes.
And that was quite good. You know, I quite like his werewolf. It's the standing upright. It's just a man. It's like the old school Universal ones.
He's sort of wearing trousers usually, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not on all fours. It's stand up, but it's like the Universal ones, but with more hair and more actual teeth and loads of hammer red blood. Yeah. And because it's Spanish, it's like a different take on it, but it's a bit more visceral. And it works. It works well. And it's quite good. I quite enjoyed it. Just what to say.
I've seen a couple of his movies.
It's on Prime in the UK.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with Paul Nachi werewolf movies. I've seen probably 3, I'd say maybe. He's done a few of them, hasn't he? Yeah. He's the Spanish werewolf king, some might say. Okay, well, a TV show, just one more TV show that I wanted to mention, and it's Marvel, Gav, but it's called Marvel Zombies. So Marvel did.
I saw the trailer.
Yeah, so Marvel did the animated show What If. They did 3 seasons of that, which is basically taking what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but saying, what if this person became the Black Panther? What if that person became Captain America? Which is kind of something they've done over the years in their comics. You know, Stan Lee's even gone as far as to say, what if Superman was written by Marvel? And he's done that sort of thing as well, you know. But one of the more popular episodes was the zombie episode. Now, the Marvel Zombies is a franchise that's been going since the 90s in comics, and there's various takes on it to do with, you know, all the heroes become zombies and there's only 2 of them left or whatever it is. If you can imagine what it must be like as the Hulk, as the zombie and all that kind of stuff, you can only imagine. So they made a 4-episode miniseries, which I'm surprised they didn't drop for Halloween, but they dropped it at the end of September, and I watched all 4 episodes in the same evening, and it was so bloody and brutal and violent and really good, and Blade was in it.
I saw Spider-Man was in it.
Spider-Man ripping up. There's one part with Spider-Man. It's not a spoiler, it was in the trailer. He sort of does his webs to like 20 different heads of zombies. So he's got like 10 webs in each hand. Then he does a big jump, flips through the air, pulls really hard, and all these 20 heads all just come off these zombies with spinal columns coming out the back. It's so good.
I might see if Elijah wants to watch it with me tomorrow.
I don't think you'll like it because you'll be too confused by who all the characters are, because it's not all like mainstream stuff.
But I'm just going to watch superheroes fighting zombies.
Blade is one of the best things in it. Blade is just because obviously he's a vampire, but he's also got the powers of Moon Knight in it. So he's called Blood Knight. So he's got like this big cape and he can speak to this big Egyptian god, but also he's Blade. So he like can just take out the zombie. He's not afraid of them. He's just like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And he just takes them all out. Like, I'd love to see Wesley Snipes fighting zombies.
I'd like to do this in more everything else. I want to see Dirty Harry versus zombies. A zombie outbreak and Dirty Harry wakes up and he's like, oh man, you know.
So that Marvel Zombies, highly recommend it if you're a Marvel fan or a zombie fan or a bit of both. Gav, have you got another one you wanted to?
Yeah, just think about Clint Eastwood. What are you jive talking motherfuckers? What's up with you guys? And then just shoots them with his magnum.
These undead.
And he blows through like 5 zombie heads together with the magnum. Brilliant.
Dirty Harry.
I watched a new movie, Sarah and I. We've been doing all right recently. We go to look at a movie, and without too much hardship, find one. We did it last time when I chatted to you before when we watched The Cave and some other bits and bobs I talked to you about, didn't I? I talked about weapons and that in the last episode, yeah. We found a new one. I wasn't going to watch it, so I sort of check it out. And I was like, yeah, all right, fuck it. I felt it lost its way, before I say what it is, I felt it lost its way a little bit towards the end. I liked to have packed up a little bit before. But it's called Novocaine.
I've heard of it. I've seen it on Prime, I think.
It's on,
coming out.
It's on Paramount. I've got a subscription to
that's
Paramount.
where I've seen it.
It's kind of like, Unbreakable, essentially. But it's a guy who can't feel pain.
Oh.
And he works in a bank, and the bank gets robbed, and the girl that he started banging gets kidnapped.
I love that. Started banging.
Yeah.
Started a relationship with.
No, it might stop. But all right. Yeah, all right. And she's kidnapped. So he's like, right, I'm fucking going after them. But it's quite funny whenever he goes to do stuff, and he just doesn't feel pain. So all these big criminals, big hard guys are hitting him, fighting him loads. He just keeps getting up. No, look, please stop the whole time. Look, I'm telling you, the whole time. So it's quite fun if you want something new to watch, which is original enough to watch. It's kind of like Unbreakable, but it is different, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. It's all right, but I felt it kind of dwindled a little bit and went a little bit long than it should, but yeah, it's quite cool. So
it sounds a bit like Kick-Ass, because
it's kind of Kick-Ass, and kind of not John Wick. What's the other one? Nobody. Kind of more that with that sort of character rather than John Wick, where Keanu Reeves, he's an assassin in a suit and he looks like the part. This guy's just a fucking dude who works at a bank with a shirt and tie. So that's the sort of difference, if that makes sense.
Well, that sounds alright.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I'd say watch it. Actually, I'm not going to say it's not bad. It's more entertaining. It's more worth watching than not. So yeah. And other people will be like, no, the ending's fine because it's just me in it. So
Novocaine. All right, nice. The only other one I wanted to mention is a very old one, which has been on my watch list for a long time, from 1971, starring Mia Farrow, with Rosemary's Baby. Everyone knows Mia Farrow.
Was this yesterday's from 31?
No.
Okay.
This was from about a week ago. It's called See No Evil, or Blind Terror, it was called in the UK. And she plays a blind girl.
That's so weird. Sarah and I randomly came up, and Sarah and I looked at the trailer at the weekend for this movie.
It's really good, really good. It's
so
British.
Weird.
She basically goes to stay with her auntie and uncle and her cousin.
Was it on Prime or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
That must have been where we saw it, and then we watched the trailer from that. Okay.
And because she's blind, she sort of is working her way around the house. She kind of knows the house, and then someone comes in her house and kills the entire family.
It was suggested to me on sorry to knock you off, a YouTube channel, Cobwebs channel. It's like a YouTube channel I kind of watch where a dude just talks about films he watches, and it's on there. So how random is that? How weird is that? You're watching that and I watch that.
Yeah, it's just been on my watch list.
Sorry, and anyway, the family gets killed. Carry on.
The family gets killed. This is no spoiler, because I won't give anything away. But there's this horrible moment where she gets home late at night and doesn't realise everyone's dead because she's blind. And about 3 days later, the bodies are just lying there with blood everywhere. And she's walking around the house going, Uncle George,
she
you
must
here?
Smell something.
No, not yet. And then there's like broken glass on the floor, and you're like, she going to stand in it? And then you realise the killer's still in the mansion. It's really, really, really classy. Great stuff. Just a really good, almost like a Hammer horror almost, but it feels like something that, I don't know. It feels like a classy director. It's directed by Richard Fleischer, who I don't really know, but it's definitely worth a watch. It's got 6.6 on IMDb. I gave it 7 out of 10. 1971, See No Evil, Mia Farrow. I'm a fan of Mia Farrow, and she does Vulnerable sort of quite well, doesn't she? She's brilliant in Rosemary's Baby, so highly recommend that. Yeah, it's funny that you had it recommended to you, so definitely check it out. I would say, dude, you'll really enjoy that.
I will.
It's very Gav, single location. She does kind of get out the mansion here and there, but Yeah, it's good stuff, and it's a little bit of a rural horror as well, almost, because
yeah, up my street.
there's some country bumpkins thrown in the mix as well.
I've literally just started writing a script. I managed to get through 9 pages the other day. I know the idea of the script. It is very kind of cabin fever, going to one location, and it's very rural. So yeah, it's right up my street, really. What you're saying. I watched obviously Weapons with my eldest recently. So I said to them, "Oh, the director did an alright movie before called Barbarian." So we sat and watched Barbarian the other night, and Charlie very much enjoyed that.
That's your second watch of it, then?
I watched it twice in the cinema. I watched it at Fright Fest,
wow.
And then I went to the cinema again and watched it. So this is actually probably my 4th or 5th viewing of it.
I've only seen it the once, but I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I know that when I do get around to Weapons, I'm probably going to really enjoy that. So, as I said in the last episode, Weapons and Barbarian, we will do a double bill of that at some point on this show, because I think they're both really. Well, I haven't seen Weapons, but from what I hear, it's going to be a lot to talk about, and the same with Barbarian.
You're really enjoying Weapons. The director, when the director did, he has a, I wouldn't say unique writing style, but he's very much the Tarantino without where lots of little stories in the movie. We got that in both films. Barbarian, it's split into 2 halves, and you've also got a mini story in the middle as well. And Weapons kind of does that in a different way, just so it shows everyone's take of the day, almost, sort of thing. It's very good. So we watched that. They enjoyed that. And it's quite funny because he said when he was writing Barbarian that he just started writing it and he didn't know what was going to happen and just kind of let it go. And I don't like the end of Barbarian. I find it's a bit weird. I like it when it's in the house. When it leaves the house, it becomes almost a different film. It kind of loses it slightly,
I know what you mean. I remember the ending very well, yeah.
And then Charlie said, do you want to do another movie? I was like, yeah, fuck it, alright. So we did a double bill. And we were going to watch Smile, but it wasn't anywhere around to watch without renting it out, and we didn't do that. I was like, and I just kind of put on From Dusk Till Dawn while they were sitting there. And then never seen From Dusk Till Dawn, so I just started watching that. And it's funny because From Dusk Till Dawn is quite dated now in terms of a lot of things. Like, lots of times Charlie's there going, oh, about some of the men in it and their actions and what they do and what's being said. And you're like, yeah. And some of the visual effects are pretty bad. Like the CGI stuff is real dated and looks like...
What's that, 98?
Something like that. So you can kind of give it a pass. It's a really fantastic film still. But at the same time, I was watching it like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this in my collection anymore. It does, like, it's okay. I almost prefer just a movie about the Gecko brothers.
Yeah.
And not turn into that. Watching it now for like many years later, looking at it.
I probably haven't seen it since we reviewed it many years ago for our Rodriguez episode. I got a huge soft spot for it, so I will probably keep it in my collection. I haven't had any reason to watch it again recently, but at some point I will.
I think it's interesting. I think it's probably worth going back to maybe. But
because Salma Hayek's in it. Yeah,
of course. But I don't know. Watch it again. It's like it's got some real classic bits in it, some really cool bits. But yeah, I don't know.
Talking of trying to emulate famous people, when we went to see that at the cinema when it first came out.
Look what I've got here, actually, funny enough, randomly.
That's the Dawn on vinyl.
Nope.
Is that Laserdisc?
Yeah.
Nice. When we went to watch that at the cinema, George Clooney's obviously got that huge tattoo all down his arm and shoulder.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
One of my friends, who isn't even my friend anymore, he was very close with me and Rob and Dave, the guys you know very well, and he started getting that tattoo of George Clooney. He got from his mid elbow to his shoulder.
The 90s have rang. They wanted tattoos back.
It was like, dude, like, this was before I started getting tattoos.
Is this basically nowadays Anthony Kiedis down the gym?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And he's still got it. Obviously, he's got to live with that forever now. I don't know him anymore. I haven't spoken to him in 10 years. But...
because I was watching it and it got to that end bit and he takes the jacket off.
He looks cool with it.
In my mind,
back then.
In my mind, when I saw that when I was 21, 22, I don't know, fucking 19, 20, whatever. Still a young kid, impressionable. I watched that, I was like, man, George Clooney is cool as fuck, like toes. He's fucking stacked and all this shit. He looks at him now, it's like, he doesn't have one bit of muscle on his arm. Nothing. It literally goes down like a beanstalk and it's just got this real shit tattoo on it. I was like, God, how times have changed.
I know. Rose tinted glasses.
So yeah, if you've got that tattoo, bad. I'm sorry, people out there, if you have tattoos and they're tribal tattoos. They are very 90s.
But what did you double bill it with? I'm guessing. Can I guess?
No, I did. No, it was Barbarian and From Dusk to Dawn.
Oh, sorry. I do apologise.
That's a double bill.
Perfect. Very nice double bill. I thought you were going to say Planet Terror. I thought you were going to say.
No, it's nice to hang out with my eldest and just watch some horror movies with them. I was like, let's quickly go down the shop, get some snacks, and came back, and everyone else was away, so it's cool.
Well, talking of which, before we get into Kevin's email then, very quickly, it's October, as we've said. So yesterday was the first day of October. I sat down with my 2 children, my 4-year-olds, and we watched Monster House, which we've reviewed on this show, and I know you're a big fan of as well.
Yeah.
And they were glued to it for the full 140 minutes maybe? They absolutely loved it. We got a bowl of popcorn and some Halloween sweets, and we all sat and watched it. And there was a few moments where they were a little bit, oh, Daddy, it's a bit scary, but they're only 4, but they really, really enjoyed it. So I'm planning on doing a few films with them this because they're at school now. So they finish earlier, they can come home in the afternoon. We're going to watch Hubie Halloween, Scooby-Doo, The Reluctant Werewolf. All of these kind of stuff that we love. I've got to pick a few that I think they're going to like. Goosebumps, the movies, another one I think I'm going to do with them, a couple of those. But I started my 31 days of Stephen King. So it took me a lot of energy, but I watched the original It from 1990, which is just over 3 hours, because obviously these days people regard it as a film, even though it was originally a 2-part series.
And how is it as a standalone watch?
Great. That's the only way I've ever really watched it, to be honest with you.
Well, when I first watched it, it was over 2 nights on Sky One.
I didn't see it like that. You see, I think someone recorded that on the same tape, and I watched it in one sitting. So I've only ever watched it in as one sitting, but it works well. It still holds up well. It's got a fantastic cast all the way through it. I think I still prefer it to the remake, but the remake is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it was a good way to start my Stephen King list. And then I watched Sometimes They Come Back, which is I quite enjoy that. It's very much a Dan film. Bullies getting their comeuppance, a cool car, a bit like Chris. There's a lot of Christine in it actually, and it's got that guy in it who was in Vamp and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and a few other things. You'd know him if you saw him. So it's good, yeah. So I'm enjoying it. And you started your list, haven't you? You started with Smile, but you weren't that into Smile.
No, I didn't really like it very much. Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'm away for a week with the kids this month. I'm away for a week with Sarah as well this month. So that's cool with Sarah. We will bang out a lot of movies. So to be honest, the movies I don't do in the week when I'm with the kids, I'll probably bang out doubles with Sarah because we're away on holiday and we can do that. Yes, I'm going to try my best. I've got a few things I want to watch. I could tell you, actually. I've planned a couple of things that I'm like, I want to watch these movies because I just enjoy these films. And I almost have like some autistic way of looking at all this. And I always like, it has to be 31 and I must do this and I give myself rules and make it unfun, I want to watch Return of the Dead. Again, I really enjoyed that. I want to watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the one with Jeff Goldblum. I want to watch my VHS tape of Silver Bullet. I want to watch Misery again. I want to watch Carry On Screaming again.
Yeah.
I want to watch the original Cabin Fever again. And I was going to watch Hell House LLC, but I might do all the Hell House movies as well.
Nice. I still haven't seen the 4th one.
Well, the new one's just come out. Is that not the 5th one? The Lineage.
I know you've seen the 4th one and you talked about it about a year ago.
Yeah, 4th's okay. 4th's all right, actually. Yeah, 5th one's just coming out at the moment, and it's not found footage. Hell. It's not found footage. It's the first one going in cinemas, but it's actually just like a proper movie. And obviously that's weirdly weird. Weirdly weird?
That's weirdly weird.
That's really weird. Because if you've got your hardcore fan base is found footage fans, it doesn't they're going to be unhappy if you go to normal, and they have been unhappy with it. I've seen.
You've got to kind of stick to the formula after 4 films.
I don't know. Yeah, I know what. It'd be interesting to watch Hell House as a not regular film, but
imagine if suddenly Paranormal Activity went to just like a normal.
And then it's not scary anymore, is it? In the slightest.
You can do it the other way, where like if they did a Jason movie that was a found footage.
Well, they did want to do because if they ever make another one, it's going to be part of 13. In fact, I do remember Adam Green said he went into an office meeting and they pitched him Friday the 13th, and it was a found footage movie. And Jason had a camera.
No.
That wasn't many years ago, though, so yeah.
No.
I'm looking forward to his next film, though, basically Frozen, but in hot air balloons.
Oh, nice. Jesus, that would be scary.
Yeah, and he actually went up and shot, in balloons, so...
I can quickly reel off my list if you want, or shall I not bother with that?
Well, you can do. I was going to say very quickly, I was working away earlier, and I was in a lift, and all of a sudden, it dropped, probably like a floor. Bang! And it's just bouncing. And I was like, what the fuck? And then the doors opened up, and then they tried to shut again. I was like, no, I'm out of there. Hopped out and grabbed all my shit. And I was like, fuck that, I'm not going back in there. And then after that, I tried calling it again just to see it. And it's like, nah, buttons weren't lighting up. And I was like, that's stuck somewhere.
I told you I climbed out of a lift once when it was halfway through floors, didn't I? When I was
you
a kid.
did, yeah.
Yeah, that was very silly, but I didn't know any better. I was only 13 or something doing my paper round, so...
I bet you were fucking going, this is the worst day to be dressed as Will Smith getting out of this lift.
I freestyled my way out of the lift. Stephen King month I'm doing, and I tell you, it's really cozy. I love most Stephen King films. I'm only doing horror, so unfortunately I won't be doing Stand By Me unless I can squeeze that in somewhere along the way. But
and essentially you did do a TV show, but classed it kind of as a long movie.
Yeah, that's probably the only one I'm doing, I think.
You're not really doing TV shows, are you?
I'm doing TV movies, but not TV shows. Yeah, that's right. So obviously I've done it. Sometimes they come back. I'll be doing Cat's Eye, Thinner, Cell, which we recovered quite recently, Dreamcatcher, which I haven't seen for years, Maximum Overdrive, of course, The Dead Zone, The Ice, Children of the Corn, The Running Man, any excuse to watch an Arnie movie, and it is written by Stephen King, so I've got to watch that. Graveyard Shift, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, The Dark Half.
You could do the new Running Man as well.
I suppose I could when it comes out. It's out soon, isn't it? I think it's going to streaming as well. Graveyard Shift, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, The Dark Half, 1408, Gerald's Game, In the Tall Grass. I'm going to rewatch The Monkey. I only watched that last month and I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to watch that again.
Yeah.
The Mist, which, that ending, Now I'm a Dad. I'm not sure if I'm able to take that. Misery. As you can tell, towards the end of the list, I got all the classics in here. Misery, Firestarter, Cujo, Christine, Sleepwalkers, Pet Sematary, again, Now I'm a Dad. Ooh, baby. Silver Bullet, Salem's Lot, Creepshow. I suppose Salem's Lot is a TV show, technically, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was premiered overnights.
Salem's Lot, and then Creepshow 2. Then I'm doing The Shining and Doctor Sleep double bill. Then Carrie, and then I'll be finishing up the month with It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. So I'm bookending my month with It, Pennywise. So I started with him and I'll finish with him. So that's my Stephen King. And then along the way, I might throw in John Carpenter's Halloween, Hubie Halloween, that kind of stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself this year, but I'm really looking forward to the coziness that comes with watching a Stephen King film.
I was in a car the other day and I did a little bit of reading because I was a passenger. And I don't read very much, and it's a shame because I never finished it. But I started reading the Raft, the short story, which is a Creepshow 2. And I was reading that, and I was quite enjoying it. Then I went to sleep because I'm like a baby when I get in a car. If I'm not driving.
His short stories are fantastic. Silver Bullet was a short story, and when done right, they can turn them into really great movies. But that's what we've started watching. But this is an episode that Kevin S5 is the king of, because it's a patron. So, before we go into a trailer for Boogens from 1981, I'm going to read you Kevin's email, because he sent us a glorious email, which I'm going to read out now.
Do it now. So he says, okay, I am so happy it's my turn again. I'm especially excited to hear both of your thoughts on these two creature features. At this point,
if you're paying attention, and I think Dan might be, but I'm not as confident about Gav. My patron picks usually have a theme. My first two were big, scary mansion movies with The Changeling and The Legacy. I really enjoyed covering those two films, Gav. That was a really good episode.
I still got to say, go visit that fucking house.
Yeah, that was a really great episode. And my last picks were two of my favourite Giallos, or is it Gialli? I still haven't figured out that. With Torso and Tenebrae. And again, that was a great episode
now,
as well.
I did notice, come on. I did notice there's a theme with those, actually. So, yeah, this time around, yeah, absolutely. So I do appreciate that, absolutely.
He says, this time around I've chosen to go the ooey gooey route with the late 70s shocker Squirm and the early 80s mountain cave brawlers, the Boogens. He says, okay, where do I start? The beginning, I guess. So I was born in July 1970. Oh, wait, that's going too far back. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. I like it. As mentioned in my previous letters, I love the way he says that. My father got me into horror at a very young age, and it's one of my favourite things he's left me with. Nothing was better than going to the drive-in with my dad to watch scary shit. These two movies are no exception. I've got very distinct memories of seeing both of these films upon release. Squirm being at the drive-in, where I saw a great deal of the 70s horror movies. Lucky, very lucky to go and see all that.
I'm just sitting there back here going, it's such an American thing, and it's such a thing that I'd love to have had as a kid. My memories were going to a drive-through with my dad to watch horror. That sounds so fucking cool. My dad took me to watch Octopussy in the cinema.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
He says, and I saw the Boogens at the local multiplex. And by multiplex, I mean it was a twoplex. This was long before multiplex days, but they called it a multiplex, you know. Both of these movies have fantastic titles. I mean, both titles just sound scary as hell. What the fuck even is a Boogen? The word is not even mentioned in the movie, am I right? It is actually mentioned once in the movie.
And I thought at first I was writing Boogens, and also that's an Australian sort of, hit type, you know.
Yeah, like a surf guy or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he says, but somehow the titles still work. Then there's the amazing poster art. Both of these films have memorable poster art, but it's really the trailers for me. They both have grimy, gritty, scary-ass trailers. You know, speaking of trailers, I miss the horror movie trailers of the 70s and 80s, where there was literally just one guy doing the voiceovers, and he always sounded creepy as fuck. He said... He puts a quote here, starting this Friday, check your local listings.
Yeah, it was great, actually. Always, like, when a person started talking, you're like, oh, nice, we're in movie world again. We're back here. We haven't left for long. We're back sitting down, looking at some movie in a world. And, this is great. It's that guy again. It's that voice, you know. Yeah.
If you thought Jason Voorhees was dead, think again. You know, it's always that kind of thing, isn't it?
I'm making that fake trailer with my son, Elijah, as a ninja. And once I do it, I will... put a voiceover over the top as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
He says, okay, I'm getting off topic, which is par for the course on this podcast.
I was going to say, that's me all over, and you, yeah.
He says, I love you all going off on tangents, especially the sexual adventure stories that you share sometimes.
That's you as well. It's not me. It's always you.
And the endless conversations about Kevin Bacon's bacon.
You again.
That's me. He says, okay, I need to focus. Another thing I love about both of these movies is the atmosphere. I mean, in Squirm, you can just feel how hot that summer was, and you can literally see and feel every bead of sweat coming down their faces. I felt like I could smell every character's armpits through the screen. Thank God there isn't smell-o-vision, I say.
That's kind of how I feel with frogs.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He said, wow, after typing that about the armpits, I'm not sure if I'm either turned on or disgusted right now. Probably both.
Disgusted.
Then he says, and with the Boogens, the snowy mountain setting is oozing with atmosphere too. And the special effects, chef's kiss, nothing better than practical effects. And these two movies really deliver. I mean, after you see the image of all those damn worms in the house, you can never unsee that. And the Boogens can't honestly unsee those prehistoric turtle things either, lol. But I still love the cheesiness of it all. I have a love for low budget horror movies of the 70s and 80s, and I have an extreme appreciation for the work and collaboration that goes into creating these shock treatments. I know you both agree and even understand that more being movie filmmakers yourselves. I'm excited to hear how you feel about these titles, and yes, I will not be offended by anything Gav says about these two gems. Lol, kidding, my heart will be broken and I'll sulk for days.
Don't
so be
sulk
gentle.
for days. Try and be gentle.
Seriously, though, thanks for all that you do, the laughs you bring, the breakdowns of the movies you provide, and the countless minutes of me being stared at by the person in the car next to me as I'm screaming at my radio, usually correcting something you've said or providing an answer to something you're trying to remember. Like, that happened in part 4, you goofs. Yeah, we do get things wrong. That's why there's no editing.
We absolutely do, and it's generally me. Yeah.
He said, also, I wanted to provide a suggestion to the show since I have a captive audience at the moment. Perhaps the patrons could give you the subject of the Time Team or the Bill Murray segment. Now that I have a suggestion, not that I have a suggestion at the moment, lol, I'll just carry on. So that's a good suggestion. If anybody's got anything they want to cover for World of the Strange.
Yeah, Sarah and I do the same with ours, the High Strangeness podcast. We sort of say anybody's got any episodes, and we do get round to them. Some of them we don't as much, but yeah, we can do for sure.
So wrapping up, he says, anyway, one more thing. Dan, I know you love Kevin Bacon's bacon, but I'm a Kevin too. You know, plus I have bacon and I love bacon. You could give this Kevin's bacon some love sometime too. I'm just saying. Nice.
Kevin Bacon's pork. It should be rather than Kevin's bacon, I was going to say. But
Kevin's
yes.
Bacon.
Thanks, Kev, for inviting Dan for some bacon.
Yeah. Oh, next time I'm overseas, I'll be sure to stop by for some bacon. And then he says, okay, I'm done now. I'm going to go back to watching the Slumber Party Massacre for the gazillionth time. Nice. Cheers,
Slumber
Kevin
Party Massacre, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Kevin, that is fantastic. And
cheers, Kev.
Thank you for the bacon comments. And thank you for listening and your support. And I hope that we do your movies justice. Gav will be gentle with you, and I'll be rough with you.
Just to say very quickly on your note about filmmaking and low-budget films of the 70s, 80s, it's really interesting because it was obviously filming, shooting a movie around then, even though we call it like low budget. And you look at them, they are low budget. They're lesser budget than a standard Warner Brothers movie or something else we're watching, Rosemary's Baby or some shit. So, but they are. But it was so much harder then because they're shooting on film and stuff. So, like nowadays, very, very easy to get a camera, just go down in your fucking local shop and start shooting, or even shoot on your phone. So, yeah, even though they are low budget, I think there's something with them because there's less. Where nowadays, low budget films, there's a million of them, you know. So,
and they all look good. Low budget films now all look good.
They do, and There's certain charm. There's like, if you can make a film, it's incredible that you can actually make a film. Even nowadays, if you actually get a feature film finished, it's just an achievement in itself. But yeah, back in the day, it's quite nice. Even though they would be the low budget, they still have a charm about them. There's always something nice about them.
And that's horror for you, because horror can get away with being so many different things, whether it's found footage these days or a low budget or a grindhouse or whatever it might be, you know. And we appreciate the craft and the hard work, like you do, Kevin, that goes into some of these lower loved cult movies, you know. And I'd never heard of the Boogens, and we'll be covering that in just a moment. But you can see that there's a great acting and storytelling gone into that, and plot, you know, that kind of stuff. And Squirm, that must have been hard to make because they had to use a lot of fucking worms, and that wouldn't have been very pleasant.
No, they're still pretty well made movies actually. Both films, funny enough, which I noticed, were both quite well acted, directed. I think the Boogens' direction was pretty sparse. There was not much direction. I think they were just doing what they had to do, their job, and followed the script. But both of them had really solid acting, and there's definitely something about that with low budget films back in the day as well. Generally, most of the time, the acting was pretty good. And nowadays, you chuck on Amazon Prime and watch some shit someone's just made and put out, it might not be the best acting.
I wonder if that was because more in the 70s, horror films they were still like The Exorcist and things like that. Were 70s. And so you were thinking, shit. I might make this worm movie, and then this might springboard me onto something bigger.
Absolutely,
so people really
especially for actors as well. Yeah. So both of them, I think the acting is pretty solid for these films.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get to it, and we do need to get to a trailer because this has been a long introduction.
It has been a long one, hasn't it, Gav?
It has. Shall we get on to an intro, then we can talk about this film?
Yeah, let's go to a trailer for the Boogens.
is no escape. The Boogens.
The Boogens from 1981. Rated R for pirates. 95 minutes. A few miners prepare to open an old mine abandoned decades ago after a deadly accident, not knowing that the mine's tunnels, which are connected to the surrounding local community houses by bootlegging tunnels, hide a deadly secret.
They hide the Boogens.
Yes, if that's what even these are. So, I'd never seen this before. This is my first watch. Same for you, Gav. So I went into this really not quite knowing what to expect. And I will just say it now. I really enjoyed this. It was fun. Good acting, like you said earlier. The creature effects aren't great, but I can imagine maybe in 1981 they were passable. They're kind of along the Ghoulies too.
Right. Well, I'm literally looking at the photos. When we review a film, I like to pull IMDb up and I sort of scan it as we're talking. I go back through photos just to remind myself of the movie. I look at the cast, etc. And I'm looking straight away. One of the first pictures after the front cover pictures is the picture of the thing at the end, the little kind of happy looking creature. Hey, I'm a creature. That's what it looks like he's saying, but it's blood all over his face. But you got to remember also, going back to our previous conversation last time round a second ago, we were discussing the shot on film, blah 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 blah. These movies, there's no way at any point they went, hopefully these movies will be streamed in high def 4K restoration. They wouldn't know what that meant. I don't know what that means. They're just like on film. And on film, sometimes effects artists knew what they were getting. Like, well, we can hide that on film. And you go to watch it and like, it works. This is not the case. So, do you know what I mean? It might have been better when it first came out.
Well, they only had one creature. They'd made one creature. For the whole movie, so they had to be careful with it as well. And they shot it in 5 weeks.
Well, that's impressive.
So the whole thing in 5 weeks.
To be fair, there's not a massive amount of locations, but that kind of makes it kind of more charming and a bit more homely in a way. I can see where you like it, Kev. I can see where you like it, Dan, and it's kind of up my street. But I do have the issue with like not really any direction. It feels. There's direction, of course, but it just doesn't feel very pushed. It doesn't feel like we could really go somewhere and amp this up and come on, dude, you know. And it kind of ambles for a little while, I find. But it's just, you know, it's just a case of someone like myself, after watching many a movie, sitting in 2025 watching this movie from so many years ago. And yeah, some movies were a bit more like that, a bit more slow burn, especially that around that time as well. You get people in the cinema, you want them to stay in the cinema for a little while and stuff, you know.
Stephen King gave it a glowing review in 1981 in Twilight Zone magazine. He wrote a mini review saying it's a wildly energetic monster movie. And my last bit of trivia is that the Boogens is actually a term that's used by miners, or was anyway, to describe a spooky feeling they got when they were underground in the mines, you know, like
the boogeyman.
It's linked to the name of the boogeyman, yeah. So you feel like, I've got the Boogens at the moment. That just sort of means so that's kind of where the name comes from in this. But yeah, should we go into the shaft, the mine shaft?
Yeah, totally. Like I said, the movie's totally well. The acting's pretty solid. Everybody's just doing their thing fairly well.
Very well produced, I think.
Yeah, I think everything in there, the way it looks, camera, everything is not done by first-time filmmakers. Let's have a quick look at this director. You carry on.
Yeah, that's no worries. So we start off very similarly. This reminded me of Wrong Turn. So you start off with lots of old photos, sort of telling you a little bit about, you know, like in Wrong Turn, they tell you a little bit about inbreeding and that kind of stuff. This starts off with lots of old photos and newspaper clippings about mines and mining, and that they found some silver in the mines and lots of people going there to get the silver. And then the headlines start changing to there's been a cave-in. People have potentially been killed in this cave-in. Oh my God, there definitely are dead miners. Oh my God, one of the guys escaped and someone said that there's something weird in the mine. And that's kind of just a little bit of backstory about this. So this is obviously set in the present day, 1981.
Yeah.
But something happened many years ago in these mines, which we'll find out what it was. So again, if you want to see like an early version of The Descent, this is kind of like for you, really. It's kind of along those lines, isn't it?
Yeah, in a certain way. You don't have the claustrophobia as those films as such, but it's done fairly well. The director very quickly went on to do a lot of TV, actually. MacGyver, Tour of Duty,
nice.
Star Trek, a lot of the Star Treks, the Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Borg, Enterprise, Charmed, Smallville, Supernatural, 90210, Aquarius with Figment Jiggy from X-Files. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. He's done a few things. I don't know, personally, I just feel it kind of just goes along. But then again, maybe that's the sort of film you kind of want to make with what you have here in this material, you know.
I guess, look, they had 5 weeks. And like you said, maybe the direction wasn't there, but he was lucky in that the acting was there.
But then again, yeah, 5 weeks, it's a fairly quick turnaround. And
it's a fairly decent storyline. Now, something that this movie and a lot more in Squirm have in common is they both feel like they could be slasher films. They have the atmosphere of an 80s slasher film.
Especially when the very pretty-eyed lady, she's very pretty-eyed, she's in the house alone at times. But even then, though, my notes will say it later on when it gets that, there's just no tension there. It's like, come on, we could have really pushed this, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I understand why Kevin likes these movies for
absolutely.
that reason. Because I know Kevin loves his slashers as well, you know. So
also, Kev, it would have been, I'd say for any patrons that send movies in, what age were you, or when were you, where were you, when were you when you first watched the films? Because, like, you know, for me, I've got many a film which people be like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, but it's just because I watched it at a certain age and it just brought good memories and good thoughts, you know.
Indeed. So we're in the present day now. So after learning, you know, through that newspaper clipping over the opening credits about the mine that collapsed, and there was potentially more than just a mine collapsing, something happened, didn't there?
My iPad notes changed it to mine's got shit down.
Mine's got shit down. I've got shit down my mine. So we meet these guys whose job it is. They are here to...
They're surveying the mines, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they're there to reopen the mines, check if they're safe.
By smacking them with a hammer. Bang, bang! That's pretty full on, but I suppose you got to go full on with it.
And they're there, I guess they're mainly there to see if there actually is any silver in these mines as well, because, you know, it was reported that there was a ton of silver in these mines.
So it seems like surveying them like a health and safety check, first of all.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit late because... You know, they've been closed since 1912.
It does seem, it's like they wouldn't have got better with age. So, but at the same time, if you, they might be wanting to repurpose them and use them again. If so, you've got to go down there and do a health and safety check. And the thing is, it's quite a dark thing to say. Really, you probably don't want to go down with too many people, because if you do get stuck and die, it's not that many casualties lost.
Well, the main guys are the older fellas, Brian and Dan,
and then they've got four blokes.
And then Mark and Roger, they're the younger guys who are actually electrical engineers who are there really just to help rig up the lighting inside the mine and the generator and everything like that.
Setting dynamite. They love it.
I'd love to throw a bit of dynamite. Yeah.
I don't want to. And a mine. I've seen The Descent. I've seen these movies.
Oh, not in a mine. I just love to throw one into like a lake or a quarry.
Watch you now. I'd love to throw one in.
Yeah, but I'd probably blow my hand off, no my luck. They talk about the mines have been closed since 1912, and he says, you know, we need to check the beams to make sure they're safe. And like you said, as they start walking in the mine, they start just banging them. Oh, that one needs to be
No, it's just one guy. So basically, though, to show the situation with the chemistry of the people, we've got two older fellas that are just like, we've been fucking doing this for years. We don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? We whatever. We just bang, bang, yeah, well, it's just another day. We've done it so many times, it's fine. But then we've got two younger guys behind who are they're there to work at the same time that they will party if they get the opportunity to, and they're young, but they're just a bit like naive and fresh kids on the block. So they're just like, what the fuck? Like, they're just smashing away at them. Like, what are you doing?
They keep saying, how much are we getting paid for this? Probably not enough. Because they think we might die any minute in here.
Yeah, I would be with
and you're
them
right,
as
they
well.
they do want to party because, I mean, we'll jump ahead, but they have got a couple of girls coming to the town, the snowy town, to party with at some point. So, but we'll go back to where they are right now. So then they come across a cave-in, the first of many cave-ins, and they're like, well, let's just blow it up with dynamite. Hang on a minute.
It's already a cave-in. Do we want to have more cave-ins?
So they use some TNT and they blow up the mine. And this is where it's revealed, like, we want to get out of here because we've got to, one of the guys, his girlfriend is coming out and she's bringing her friend. And he said to his buddy, hey, I think you might want to hook up with my girlfriend's friend. And he's like, yeah, we'll see. Last time you tried to hook me up with a girl, she was like Quasimodo's sister. And he's like, no, I'm sure she's going to be hot. It's going to be fine. And they do actually end up having some amazing chemistry and getting it on. It's quite sweet, actually, the story between them, how they sort of flirt with each other and stuff like that. So they explode the mine. Boom, right, that's cool. We'll leave that, let the dust settle, and we'll see you guys tomorrow because, we've got to... we've got to go and pick up our girls. And we'll come back tomorrow and carry on digging our way through these collapsing mines. Great. Look forward to that. I'm going to go and get pissed. So
we cut to the ladies, don't we?
Yeah. Driving down the road. We've seen it many times.
It's the same sort of thing. And then, is it a deer comes out in front of them?
Yeah, a deer walks out and they swerve around it.
And it's all snowy, so they sort of go into a ditch a bit, don't they?
They have to get out and walk. And we see another girl. Then they enter
they go
cabin.
to the house. Yeah.
That's right.
Which we find out is going to be the rendezvous point of the young couples, to get it on for the weekend.
Yeah, they're moving. Well, I think they're moving in there for a while the boys do this job.
Work, yeah.
It's going to take a while.
It's a bit. It's good that the two people that didn't know each other got along, because that'd have been fucking shit if I'd been there for a while. So I don't like that cunt.
Well, I think the guys are friends, the two fellas. I think they're already friends anyway. So that's
no,
cool.
they are. But I mean, like the two girls, are like, oh, you like my friend, you're going to get on. What if they end up not liking each other? Do you know what I mean? Awkward.
Yeah, especially if they shag on the first night and then he shot his load too early or something, and then...
Oh, it's just a real awkward situation. Yeah, like he just literally jizzed as he walked into the room in his trousers and,
First, then we see Crazy Ralph. There is a Crazy Ralph in this.
He doesn't say a word until about 20 minutes towards the end.
He just keeps spying on them.
He's just there like a fucking pervert.
We've got this old man who's just spying on everyone. Women, men, he's spying on everyone.
He just kind of goes, he looks like he's gone a bit crazy. He's got a bit older in life and he's like maybe a little bit dementia or something, because he's just like creeping around and everyone does something. He goes, just runs past him. It feels like a character from an Edward film. Now,
spoiler alert, he is actually the only survivor from the old mine. Or he's the son of a survivor or something like that.
We eventually find out, yes.
Yeah, so he knows the secrets of the mines and he's not happy about them opening the mines up and going back in, which is why he's spying on them the whole time. Now, this girl who's gone in the house, she's actually the owner of the household. And she goes down into the basement and lights the boiler. She hears some spooky noises. And she's supposed to be prepping the house for these two couples.
Yeah, she's grabbed a knife as well because she's a bit intimidated. So yeah, this is where you can look at it as like you saying, like it's a serial killer. It's very much a Halloween setup.
Yeah, she lights the boiler. She hears a noise. Something grabs her feet and drags her away, and that's the last we'll see of her. And that just leaves her abandoned car out in a ditch somewhere. So that's the end of her. So, moving on. The morning, and the miners go back into the... first of all, we see her car getting towed away by the police. The cops are like, well, I don't know where the owner of this car is, but that's pretty strange. We'll have to go finding her. So the cops are already on the trail now. And then the four guys go back in the mine and they start following a very, very old map from like 1912.
Yeah, it's the next day. It's basically back at work again. They're all sort of set up, they all got their sandwiches and they've got their flasks.
And they're clearing the rocks out of the way and setting up the lights.
They come to a dead end though, don't they, in the tunnel?
They do another dead end. And he says, well, this isn't on the map. Well, it's a very old map. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, maybe there's been another cave in. So they get a little bit lost. Meanwhile, the two dates arrive in town.
They do also discuss that we need to get a new map from head office, which is going to be a problem because this isn't correct. This shouldn't be here. What? How does that work then? We need a new map. What? So the office already knows about it. Why didn't the office give you the new map in the first place? Why do they all of a sudden have now this new map? And how do they know about this new map? You're the ones telling them about the dead end.
Yeah, there's no GPS or anything about that.
How did they all of a sudden just go, oh, it's this one? Why didn't they just give it to you in the first place? Anyway, apparently they somehow know, we use our minds to tell where the tunnels go and draw maps for them.
Well, they move a few rocks and they go through the opening and they find a pool of water.
Yeah, it's a little cavern, don't they?
We as the audience see something lurking in the water. We don't see anything obvious, just there is
Big Trouble in Little China
the
when they're walking through to the place and they see something in the water. Yeah.
It's a bit like that, isn't it?
We have cut back to the ladies who have been driving. Obviously not driving long. No, they are driving along the snow, and they stop their Volkswagen Beetle, very nice looking Beetle actually, and their dog just jumps out and goes running off. So like, oh no, Fluffy or whatever,
Tiger. He's called Tiger.
Tiger, come here, and they go running off after the dog. That's our little side story of those guys and what they're up to.
Cute girls in a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yes, the lady with pretty eyes wears a cowboy hat and looks very attractive.
You like it, don't you? Now, the guys, not only have they found the pool of water, they've also found a skull. Somebody's human skull. And then they find...
loads of skulls.
A giant pile of bones. Which no one really thinks about it until there's a really clever bit of writing later on where he says... well, if these were the miners, they'd be scattered all around the place, like where they died. But this is like a big pile of bones. Like, why would someone pile up all the bones here? Obviously, there's something down there eating them. So the girl's car arrives in town, and they get there. They go into the house. One of the girls is like, I better test the bed out because me and my boyfriend are going to be using this a lot. She starts jumping up and down on it.
It doesn't work very well because they're not going to use it. Well, they could do, but they break it in within 2 jump bounces.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to completely reinforce that bed if he expects to get some good use out of it. Yeah. The other girl says, well, I'm going to go and take a bath. And there's no hot water. I know what I'll do. I'll go down into the dark basement to check the boiler and make sure that the furnace is working okay.
I know what you're saying, Dan, but let's think practicality. Where's the boiler in the basement? Oh, I'm going down there. I want a fucking bath. That's where it comes to real life. But yes, it is a horror movie. It could be spooky in the basement.
She goes down there on her own, and something is watching her from the shadows. We get a nice little POV in this.
Jimmy Savile.
Or Crazy Ralph. Oh, take off your top. Something's watching her in the shadows, and she does sense it. She senses, but then it's her dog. It's bloody Tiger. He jumps out. Oh, you goddamn dog! Everybody hates the fucking dog in this film.
Sarah's like, "What is up with their problem? What is the problem with the dog?" And I was like, "I don't know. The dog doesn't do anything wrong, but they're just like,
they talk
fuck
shit
you,
about
you
it.
fucking piece of shit." It's like the director's like, "I hate dogs. Put a dog in it so I can take out my vengeance on them."
The two guys hate him. Even his owner hates him. They're just always like, "Tiger, you little son of a bitch," you know. But he does scare his owner in the basement. It's not very nice to do that. So she leaves the basement. And again, something moves in the dark as she walks up the stairs. She doesn't see it, but we as an audience do. Ooh. And then another shot of Crazy Ralph spying on them from the woods. So he's there again. You get a lot of that throughout this film.
It just be weirdo again. Yeah, weirdo again.
But Mark and Roger, the two young guys, the electrical engineers, they get back to the cabin and they see the girls.
Very quickly, they have been assigned by the older workers that they've got to have to get. One of the guys has to go and get the plans, and he's like, "What the fuck? We're about to go pick up the girls." Well, tough. You're gonna have to, you could be back by 3 a.m. if you get on with it. Oh, for fuck's sake! So one of them knows he has to go at some point to go get the plans for the mine. I think that evening, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, he goes and does it a bit later on.
But they're like, right, we want to at least go say hello to the girls, and he's not happy about it, but he's got to do it, otherwise none of them can work.
So Roger immediately starts rogering Jessica. He's like, "Hey, Jessica!" Straight in the bedroom.
Roger Moore, shouldn't he?
Hello. He takes her straight in the bedroom and they just get straight to work. The dog, meanwhile, the dog is barking at the basement door. Shut the fuck up, you stupid dog.
Yeah.
That poor dog. It looks like the dog from the Burbs, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
The same dog that was in the same actor as.
Unfortunately, we don't have that Burb sound effect from the music score of the dog going woof, 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 and the keyboard synthesizer. Unfortunately,
don't know if that would have worked, but yeah, I feel you. Trisha and Mark, they start talking. Trish and Mark, and they've not met each other, so they get to know each other. She's like, got any beers left? He's like, yeah, help yourself. He's thinking, she's got a pulse. This is great. She happens to be like mildly attractive, which is great.
Okay, do put yourself in his situation, and obviously she must be on the way up going like, well, I guess I'm going to probably hook up with him regardless, because when it comes down to, she might walked in and went, oh no, if I get pissed it won't be as bad, because you got to figure their situation in a little mining town. Their buddies are just going to be fucking the whole time. They're not going to see them again. So it's like, well, what we could do? I'm going to have to. Oh fuck it! I might as well bang him.
But this is a great scene because there is genuinely good chemistry between these two actors. They start to
That's what I'm saying.
To know each other.
The acting's totally solid for this film.
And the writing, because this is also used as a device to get some exposition in here. And he tells her, me and my buddy, we're electrical engineers. We got paid a ton of money to come here to this town and do this job. And we just got to, help with the electrical work while they're reopening these mines. We don't know much. We've never done anything like that before. Tell me about yourself. She's like, oh, I'm a journalist. I'm a writer. I'm a journalist. And I've known, Jessica for however many years. And basically, I'm looking for the next big story. Dun, 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 and I really want to write a good story on something. So I'm always on the lookout for interesting things. I feel like one day I could be a famous journalist. So they're chatting away, and suddenly there's a knock at the door, and it's the sheriff. And he says, "Oh, hello. I'm looking for the owner of the house." And they say, "Oh, well, we haven't seen her." He says, "Oh, that's strange. We found her car in a ditch, and she seems to be missing." So, unfortunately, Mark has to go and interrupt Roger's sex. He bangs on the door, and he's like, "This better be good, Mark." And he's like, "Well, yeah. I mean, the cops are here, so
yeah,
get your ass out here now. Pull out and come in." Yep. So he goes in the living room and they're sort of talking to the cop. They say, well, look, we can assure you none of us have seen the owner of the house. And he says, okay, no problem at all. Just, if you hear anything, let me know. There's always a sheriff in these small towns.
Yeah.
The sheriff in Squirm is a prize fucking asshole. We'll get to him. Fuck me. He's an asshole, that guy. So we've now got a missing woman and some sex and some mines. So their boss back at the mine is packing up for the night, and the creepy old guy is watching him. Dun dun dun. There we go.
What's he up to?
The four guys, the two couples, head out for dinner and drinks.
Yep.
And they leave the dog at home.
Leave that fucking cunt alone. Leave him at home. God, they hate him.
They arrive at the pub diner.
Actually, when she leaves, the lady with the pretty eyes, I don't know her name. She actually is like, well, you be good now, blah blah blah. And I was happy that she bent down, and not because she bent down. Happy that she bent down and placed the dog down. I thought she's blah 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 and just throw the dog, as I thought was going to happen, but didn't.
Just literally drop kick it.
So they're not as bad as calling it a cunt.
Jesus Christ. While they're out, because they get to the pub diner, and we'll come back to them in a minute. While they're out, there are more noises coming from the basement, which scares the dog. It goes into the basement, and then it shits itself, runs out, and hides in a cupboard.
Yeah. Oh.
Poor little thing. It's called Tiger, though. Who calls a fucking poodle Tiger? Do you know what I mean? You've got to call it something like Fluffy or something like you said.
Yeah.
You can't call it Tiger.
Yeah.
So in the bar, the girls meet the boys' bosses, and they play pool, and they're having a good time, chatting. And again, it feels genuinely good acting, writing, chemistry.
It's very natural.
Did really well here. Roger has to leave with the keys, to go and get the plans from the truck that you mentioned, and he says to his girlfriend, "Stick around, play pool with these guys.
Stick around."
No,
she's laughing away, and it's these old fellas like, "Come on, little lady, you can stay here playing with us," that sort of thing. And she's like, "Well, yeah, I could do it." It's like, is this a setup for like a category in Pornhub? Are we just about to literally set up into like being rowed by two old fellas on the pool table? Is this what's about to happen here? I didn't even call that. Sarah called that.
Pink, go for the pink and not the brown.
Yeah, exactly. And it seemed like I was like, I'm sure I've seen this video before.
Maybe you should chalk up my stick for me.
Yeah.
Well, they start talking to her about the skeletons. And she thinks, "Oh, this could be my big story. Interesting."
Yeah.
So that's cool. And again, it all feels very natural and it moves at a nice pace. Roger arrives, moves the truck back at the house, and he walks in and there's a mess everywhere where the dog was running around.
You fucking little dog.
Stupid fucking dog. He does hear some strange noises.
Yeah.
And he says, "Tiger, you son of a bitch, where are you?" And he can't find the dog anywhere. And he says, "Yeah, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay hidden. Hopefully I'll never see you again." And then he has to go and get some sleep. So he gets some sleep and he goes to bed, sets his alarm. We cut quickly back to Mark and Tricia flirting at the bar. She tells him he's got a nice face, and he tells her she's got a nice face. You can tell her he's relieved about that.
Face. Oh, you've got a nice face. Strange.
Oh, you've got 2 eyes. Me too.
You've got 5. What?
5 what? 5 what, Gav?
5 eyes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, back to Roger. He hears some noises coming from downstairs. He grabs a beer. He slips over in the garage, and something grabs his foot and pulls him under the truck.
Oh yeah. It's beyond doing the which is. It's not really just Jules that came up with the idea. It's just a way to fucking do it cheaply. Not showing the monster, just showing some tentacles. With this, though, it's a good way to sort of build up a little bit more suspense slightly. There isn't very much suspense in this film. Actually, I feel it lacked a direction and music score, possibly. But with that, though, you can have like a tentacle come out and grab and pull someone in, which is quite like, whoa, it's kind of cool.
And you're not sure what it is. Is it a tentacle? Is it like a claw? Like a crab claw?
No, we don't know what it is.
Tell.
And what's going on? Why do you think it's doing it now? Why is it in the garage? Why is it not in the mine? How didn't anyone see it come out?
Well, because they find out there's a secret entrance to the mines in their basement, don't they?
Well, we all got a secret entrance in our basements.
So that's how it's getting into the house, because they disturbed it when they blew up the.
Okay, I see.
So it's hungry and it's coming out looking for food, but he can't. He manages to escape from whatever's under the truck, and he can't see anything under there. But then suddenly, something jumps on the back of him and his throat is slit.
Yeah, it gives him a slashing, and that's him done.
That's him done in. Roger is done in. She's only had one bonk out of him.
Yeah. And obviously, this was what makes it a bit more intriguing, because he was the one who was supposed to go and get the plans for the new mine shaft. So, with him not being around, it doesn't cause suspicion.
And what they've done here is also killed off what we thought was one of the main characters relatively early on.
Yeah, you could look at it that way too. Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. So, the lovers return back to the cabin.
Boobs.
They leave Jessica playing pool with the old fellas because she's absolutely railing them.
It's a gilf gangbang.
Yeah, so she's destroying them at pool, but the lovers return back to the cabin because he sort of says to her, I could light a big fire and we could, maybe see what happens. But they get there and obviously Roger is missing. But they don't really give a shit about that. They just start getting it on in front of the open fire. Don't worry about your friend, miss him. Just crack on.
Well, yeah.
They make love by the open fire. And we get a POV in the kitchen. And it's the dog again. The fucking dog interrupts them having sex. In fact, the next day he says to Jessica, "Oh, well, last night your goddamn dog almost made it a threesome."
I was going to say, like, just need a dog to start licking his arse.
Oh, I've heard that tale many a times. Sorry, you've heard that story, right?
Not really, but yeah, okay.
That urban legend about someone was getting it on with a girl, and
but
and then the dog started licking his arse, and he thought, "Oh, whatever she's doing feels great." And then he turned around, and it was her dog, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah, well, it's going to happen, I'm sure."
Yeah, I was interrupted by a dog once. In Canada,
it's worse growing up with dogs when you're younger, and you're just learning about masturbation, and you're a young lad, and you found like a page 3 picture in a newspaper. It's like, brilliant. And then the dog's just looking at you. It's like, oh no, what's he looking at?
Watch me!
Stop looking!
See, these are the kind of sexual discoveries and tales that Kevin's here for.
Yeah.
Gav was watched by a dog.
I'm not. No, I'm just. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pulling that from somewhere, aren't I? I mean, the story, obviously.
Yeah. So they make love by the fire. The dog interrupts them, and that's that. And the morning time comes, and they all presume Roger has sort of gone off with the truck, to do whatever he needs to do. Mark leaves Trish in bed. They're all they're in love immediately, after one night.
Yes, after their one night, drunken night, they're both totally in love, obviously.
And Jess says Tiger is missing.
Yeah, totally. And he's gone to work with the other guys who have gone set up lights in the cavern bit they found with the big water thing, and obviously still unsuspicious and unaware of the fate of their mate.
Yeah. Well, when they go back, they find the dog, by the way. The dog's just being a dog, and they have a go at it again. Another reason to shout at the dog. And then when they get back to the mine, when Mark gets back to the mine, the other guys are there, and they look, vandals have been here, and someone's boarded up the mine all over again, and they put crucifixes all in front of it, and someone's written death on the doors of the mine. It's pretty elaborate vandalism, isn't it?
This graffiti shit.
Death. Unless that's his graph name.
That could be his tagging name.
Yeah, death. But why the crucifixes? Banksy. Early Banksy, this is.
Mad early Banksy.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, the girls are cleaning up the house, because 1981, women clean up the house, Gav, of course. And they're even baking. They're baking, getting the house ready for their boys to come home later on. So that's all happening there. And the old man, we see him then steal some TNT from the
TNT.
Dynamite.
Yeah,
so he steals some TNT from the truck. Now we're in the mine now, and Mark's setting up all the lights, and they're actually taking samples because they're trying to find out if there's silver. They can find any silver in there, because there's supposed to be loads of silver in these mines. And they start questioning the bones. So this is what I mentioned earlier. And they really talk about, and I've made a note here about how good the script is. They really start questioning, because they don't do this in horror films. If there's a big pile of bones, they would often just go, oh, it must be the old miners. But they go, well, hang on a minute, the miners would be scattered all around the place. This is a pile of bones. Somebody's put a pile of bones in a big pile. It's very strange.
Yeah.
The old man's lurking in the shadows in the mine, watching them.
With his page 3 newspaper mag.
Jessica, meanwhile, discovers that the truck is still in the garage, so she knows that Roger never took the truck to go to the mines.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trish is investigating the mine story. She goes to the local newspaper office and gets information from the local council, and she finds out all about what happened at the mine, so she's really building up her story. She thinks there's a good story here. God, there is a good story for you here, Trish, but you're not going to like how it ends, my lovely. Jessica calls her at the newspaper office and says, go and tell Roger that Mark is missing. Sorry, go and tell Mark that Roger is missing, I should say. So she's also found out that one miner did survive from 1912, and he said, we were attacked by creatures down there.
Like having crabs, I suppose.
I was attacked down there by creatures. And I went on holiday. Highland. So, in the mine, the boss, Brian, starts hearing noises. And we know then that the creature is almost upon them. However, before we get into any creature malarkeys, we have a shower scene. Gav, I know you'll enjoy this.
Yeah, but there wasn't any nudity, so it's kind of a fairly tame shower scene, really. But it was a pretty lady. She's in the house alone, and she does hear some noises. And
she hears a fucking lion's roar, pretty much, coming from the basement.
She's in the shower, and she hears a dog barking away, and she's like, "Shut up!" as they all do, because they don't like the dog. And after a while, she is like, "Oh, that sounded a bit weird, actually." So she does actually stop, and this leaves the shower running, doesn't turn it off, because I assume she thinks she's about to just get back in. And very, very well, she's about to have a fight and a tackle with a monster. That towel, impressively, stays on like super glue.
It covers every part of her that you shouldn't see very well.
Everything.
Very hard.
I'm looking at a picture right now. It looks like a sumo nappy on her. Which is fine. I'm not trying to be a perv and get a glimpse, but it's a shame. Anyway.
While she's getting out of the shower to investigate what the dog's barking at and hear the strange noises, we see those weird tentacle claws lifting up the floor vent.
And the dog's there looking. The dog's quite small and low to the floor, and the dog's like, oh, and we keep getting the dog's POV with the camera, so the grate's coming up, and the dog's going back and forth, going, oh, barking away, like, oh, you little bastard, why are you? Like that. And this is the time when the dog's actually doing some good. And the whole time you're dissing the dog, and the dog's letting you know that something weird's going on.
And then all we hear is where the dog is
pulled
taken
into the grate, just literally like pulled inwards, and the grate just then gets put with some claws, kind of come up almost like tentacle claws, and pull the grate inwards and making it a bigger hole.
Yeah. Jessica comes down and she sees the broken vent, and she starts getting pulled in then by her feet and by her arm.
She thinks the dog, she doesn't know, she didn't see the dog get pulled in, did she? So I think she feels like the dog's possibly falling down there because, I don't know, whatever reason. Then all of a sudden her arm gets grabbed and she's kind of being pulled into it. Yeah.
She manages to get her arm out there, but she's got blood all over her. She hears more of this sort of weird roaring sound. Well, and then something is chasing her.
Yeah, she's running down a hallway, then runs into like a pantry, shuts the door, and this thing just like literally just kind of like if you remember Reanimator with the dead corpse in the downstairs, just literally pushes the whole door over from the top downwards off the hinges. And fucks her up.
Yeah, and then sharp claws slice her neck, her chest, her face.
Unfortunately, she is killed.
And she collapses, we assume dead.
Yeah.
Back in the mine, the two older fellas see something in the water. Hey, what's that over there? I don't know. Go over it. I'll wade out and see what it is. Oh my God, it's Roger. Dead Roger with his face all ripped off. This is weird.
I wish that had been you, and that was your acting at that point. Oh my God, it's Roger.
His face has been ripped off.
His face has been ripped off. Yeah, brilliant. And this is where the old guy now does a little bit of talking. We've got 20 minutes of the movie left. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, he comes in and basically says, it's got a death curse.
Essentially.
He says, you let it out. I tried to warn you. I tried to stop you. And you wouldn't stop going in the mine. And you let them out. You've let them all out. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Crazy Ralph? What have we let out? And then he reveals he's got a load of dynamite, a load of TNT. And they realise... they suddenly realise, oh my God, there's a tunnel that leads directly into the basement of the house where we're all staying. Oh my God, that's how it's getting into the house.
Yep.
And he says his dad was one of the original miners, so he wasn't a survivor, but his dad was one of the original miners, and they were all attacked. And then one of them gets attacked and pulled in the water.
Yeah.
And this is where the old man says, Boogens. So it is said, Kev, it is said in this movie. Yeah. Okay. He throws TNT in the water, but he himself, the old man, gets attacked as well, and he drops it. Stupid man. Drops the TNT, it explodes, causing a cave-in.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Trish gets home. Jessica, where are you? Jessica? She can see signs of a struggle. Mark's speeding back there. He's like, oh my God, if that tunnel leads to our house, then whatever is down here is on its way to my girl, Trish, who I've only known for 12 hours. I better speed there immediately. So
he does like completely like, oh my god, yeah, like panic, yeah.
Trish sees blood on the floor, and she heads to the basement. Why? I don't know. If I saw blood, if my friends were all missing and there was blood everywhere, probably not going to go down the basement on my own. No. Just saying. Sorry, Gav. But if me and you are staying away and you disappear and I see blood everywhere, sorry, mate. Even if you're just having a nosebleed in the basement while you were trying to get batteries for a flashlight, I'd be like, no, I'm not going down there. Sorry, Gav.
All right, fair enough.
Seen too many horror films. Mark grabs the cops on the way to the house. So they're all speeding to the house now. And Trish has armed herself with a pitchfork. Great. Good weapon choice, actually. Probably go for that myself.
Pitchfork's quite good. It's one of those things where it's hard if you're swinging it around because it's so long, but you can keep things away. Good for zombies, I'd say. Good for zombies. It's just to push them away, keep them away from you. Keep it away, keep it away, keep it away now.
You can get them in the head, you can get them in the torso. Highly rated pitchfork as a weapon, guys. If you're ever in that scenario.
Yeah.
That's more tips from Gav and Dan.
More tips from us.
However, unfortunately, Trish finds her friend Jessica's body, and just as she spots it, her foot is grabbed and she's dragged off.
Yeah.
And she falls down, and the creatures, we sort of see the creature's teeth, sort of a close up. This is the most we've seen of them really now. They're sort of like sort of Ghoulies 2 style.
Yeah, and
it's all right.
The direction's a lot better here as well, by the way, towards the end.
The sheriff and Mark arrive at the house, and they're shouting, "What's going on, you guys? Hey, is anyone here?" And immediately this little thing, they see it on the floor, and he's like, "What is it? Is it dead?" Because he shoots it, doesn't he? The sheriff, he shoots the creature, and he puts his face literally an inch from the creature's face and says, "What the hell is this thing?" And then we all know what's going to happen. It's not dead.
That's like that silly moment in Prometheus.
Well, oh god,
yeah, same thing.
He puts his face right to it, and it bites his face off pretty much. So they kill it. It kills the sheriff, sorry. Mark spears it with this big stick. But this has started a fire now because of all the ruckus going on down there. And there's a load of gasoline on the floor. So this place is going to go up soon. Trish and Mark say, well, there's only one way to escape because we have to go in the tunnel back to the mines.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. What, there could be more of them in there? Fuck it. House is on fire. It's all we can do. So they head in the tunnel, and the creature manages to get through the flames and chase them through the tunnel. Mark gets grabbed by the creature. Trish crushes it with a rock.
She does a good job, or you're just saying she crushes it with a rock? She crushes it.
Both.
Yeah.
Good job, Trish.
Yeah.
She smashes it with a rock. They find Brian, and he's like, "Oh, guys, thank God you're both still alive." And immediately he's strangled by this creature.
Yeah.
So they have to start running again, and behind them, it's quite scary this bit. As they're running, you can just hear this like weird roaring sound, like coming from behind them as they're running. They're like, keep going through the mines.
Yeah.
Mark throws some TNT over his shoulder. Boom. They close the mine for good.
Absolutely.
And they limp back to the car. They get back. It doesn't end well for them. All that's happened. They get back to their house. That's now burnt to the ground. There's nothing left of the house that they were supposed to be staying in. And that's the end credits.
And their
playing
mates
over
are
the
dead.
house on fire. Yeah, all their friends are dead. Both their bosses. No jobs.
No.
Also, how are you going to explain this for the, to the cops?
Yeah, totally. It's okay. I feel like I said, I think the director could have, like, some of the performances and some bits are okay, but I feel like a bit more suspense to the movie. I feel it's lacking, and I think that also is the lack of a good score as well. I think it could have really made this. I think a score could have just given this loads of atmosphere and made it real creepy. A bit more, but overall it's a fine film in a way. It's kind of slow. If you haven't got patience, I think you might struggle, but it's fine, and I can see the sort of nice sort of film, as in going back to it on regular viewings, or like when it's cold, or I'm going to sit and watch that film, because I could tell you could get to know the characters a bit on repeated viewings, the town a little bit. It's not got huge scopes, not like Twin Peaks. You see loads of so many people in town, but you do see enough to keep you knowing it's a little town, and I think it's fine in that sense. Will I go back to it? I don't know. Will I give it a thumbs up? Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up, but it's a real slow one. I think you won't be able to watch this as a standalone film fan. You've got to be a horror fan.
I think what helps with Kevin is he saw this at a young age with his dad at a drive-in.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry. He saw this at a multiplex, but still seeing this at the cinema at a young age.
Okay, yeah.
My summary of it, I actually wrote down. I said the setup is better than the execution.
Yeah.
For me, I really enjoy the whole movie, but the last 15 minutes, it just kind of. It's a bit of a shame, really, that the last 15 minutes doesn't really live up to the rest of it. I preferred it when you couldn't quite see the creatures and we were getting to know the human characters. But overall,
do you think that's in the writing of the script originally, or do you think it's because of the short time of filming and maybe that's a sort of rush the ending? Maybe.
Well, I think it was what you just said, because apparently the last day of shooting was 20 hours.
Yeah.
So they were obviously
they were just trying to get everything in, so that's why that last bit is a pretty quick rush job. And it's funny enough, a producer said to me once, when make a film, he said to me, film the ending last. Film the ending first.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, my plus points for it, though, are, I've really enjoyed it, I will say, but my 3 plus points are great script, great characters, and a really good story. For 1981, this is quite a fresh story. Mines. We've seen a million mine films now, but this is a really interesting original story for its time. Really well acted, really well written. So I enjoyed it. I gave it 6 out of 10. So not like a massive score, but I still gave it 6 out of 10, and I had a lot of fun with it. I will go back and watch it when I'm not reviewing it, so that I can actually just watch it.
I think that's how you got to watch it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a very much different thing when we're actually sitting here having to critique stuff. Not critique is in a bad way of saying, but we're commenting and critiquing. We're just seeing stuff, and it's whatever we see, we observe and make notes of, because it's interesting to talk about. So sometimes that can come out as critiqued in a bad way, but yeah, it's fine. It's all right. And I can see how you'd like it as if you're into it from watching it as a younger lad.
Well, thumbs up from both of us. The Boogens, it is on YouTube. It's also on Prime if you want to buy it or rent it, but it's on YouTube, which is why I watched it, and it's a fairly decent copy. So,
yeah,
never heard of it. Always love checking out a movie I've never seen. Thank you, Kevin. Thumbs up from us both. But talking of squirmy wormy things, look who's walked in the room. Bill Murray's here. And he's got his worm. Oh dear. He's not even trying to pretend it's anything but his penis. Yeah, just because you've drawn 2 eyes on it with a permanent marker doesn't mean that it's a little worm, Bill.
No.
Yeah. Oh, you're putting it in a sandwich. He's putting 2 slices of bread around it now. It's not a bacon sandwich. We talked about those already, Bill. That is not a bacon sandwich. Just do your job. Please take us into World of the Strange.
Hi, welcome back to World of the Strange.
World of the Strange. Strange world. It's a strange world.
It's a strange world.
It's a strange world. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
So, because we're covering yucky, squirmy creature features, I thought it might be fun, maybe not, for us to take a look into some creatures that live on the human body.
Ooh.
Oh, some of these are living on you right now, Gab. We'll get into that.
Nice.
No, and I'm genuinely like one of them. I
totally believe you, absolutely. But it doesn't affect me. I'm still all right. I'm 48, and I'm still going all right, so it's cool. Whatever.
Well, let's start with the classic from school, head lice.
It is a classic, and it sticks with us because, like, as parents, you have kids and they get head lice. You have to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah. And we had the knit nurse used to come into school and check your scalp.
Oh, what? I've got a job, Doreen. Oh, what is it, Janice? I'm a knit nurse. Oh, lovely. That would be rubbish, wouldn't it?
Their job was to comb through with their fingers grubby 5 and 6-year-old scalps, and if they found a bug, they'd send a letter back to the parents and say, go out and buy a really expensive burning shampoo to use on your child's hair for the next week to kill all the bugs.
It's a sort of era they're probably pedos, so because you wouldn't want to do that normally as a job, would you? Come on.
Funny side story, last year we went away for my mother-in-law's 70th birthday, and as you know, my mother-in-law loves fancy dress, Gav.
Yeah, she does.
And her name is Nora, and she wanted everyone to dress up as something beginning with the letter N. I went as Nostradamus. I don't know if I remember sending you the pictures of that.
So. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But Alice, there's a point to this. Alice went as a knit nurse. So she bought a sexy nurse's outfit and a giant comb.
So it's great for you at the end, apart from when she's knitting your beard. But the rest of it was
but to add to it, because the kids were only 3, we bought them bug costumes and they were knits. So they went as knits. So she was the knit nurse and they were the knits.
I went out of a nurse for a while. Not for a while, only a few months. And but when we got together, pretty much the first thing she said to me is, "Don't ask me to wear my nurse's uniform." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even at no point had I even said this, but I think she'd had it too many times from them saying, "You can wear your nurse." And she's like, "I deal with diarrhea, puke, blah blah blah. It's not sexy." And it's like, "Yeah, it's cool. I don't have any interest in you wearing your nurse's uniform."
The problem we've got as young British men is we grew up watching the Carry On films. So to us,
Carry On matron, Carry On nurse,
super hot.
But
then when you
doctor.
actually go to hospital to have your tonsils out, the nurses don't look anything like that.
No.
They're just some old battle axe who's like, eat your ice cream, you've had your tonsils out.
You do get a battle axe type figure in the Carry On films, though. I still think you and I need to start the side podcast, Carry On podcasting, because I've got space on the other podcast place that I pay for monthly, which doesn't get used up because me and Sarah are so slow with our podcast at the moment. We should do it. Just one movie. Okay. Yeah. We need to pick the fun ones.
One on this show.
Yeah, well, we need to pick the fun ones because I think some of the older ones are not so much. But the trouble is that you kind of have to do the whole lot. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, back to head lice.
Yep.
So, tiny insects. They live in your hair. And do you know what they feed on? I didn't know this. They drink your blood.
Yeah.
From your scalp.
Yeah, that's it.
They're not dangerous.
It's a good way when the kids go, "No, I don't want to wash my hair again. Don't use that comb." You just let them know that they're eating blood from your head. They generally come round.
Tiny vampires are in your hair.
They come round to it.
So they're very itchy, very contagious, but they're not dangerous. Obviously, shampoo kills them.
Is that you doing Will Smith rapping again?
What did I say?
Dangerous, not contagious.
They're not dangerous, just itchy and contagious.
Well, there you go.
That is rapping. I didn't even see it.
And what you can do with that itch, you're going to scratch it.
Scratch. But what you've got to watch out for with them is they lay eggs. And what a lot of people think is they've got rid of the head lice, but they don't realise they've still got the eggs left, and they sort of implant them into your skull a bit, and then, into your scalp, and then a week later they hatch. Oh, and you've got nits all over again. So yeah, that's why it stays around in school for weeks and weeks and weeks, because the kids just pass them backwards and forwards. They just must be rubbing each other's heads against each other, like, yeah, give me the nits.
It's like 4 or 5. 6-year-old kids are just the yuckiest.
I know, but they only feed off of clean scalps.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a tip for kids: don't wash. On to the next creepy crawly then, Gav. And I've had this once: ringworm.
Yeah. I've had ringworm.
Now, ringworm isn't technically a creature or a worm, but it is a fungus, which is a living thing. And it can infect any part of your body. So if you get it in your hair could fall out. And it always gives a pattern of a ring, a circle. Now, I had it on my elbow, weirdly, because when I used to kickbox, we were doing elbows for a couple of lessons in a row, and I was really hammering my elbow into this big pad.
Okay.
And I grazed it a little bit, but also after a week it got really itchy, and then I had this perfect circle on my elbow. I went to the doctor and he said, "Oh, you've got ringworm." And I told him I think it was from kickboxing, and he said, "Yeah, you'll need to tell your kickboxer teachers to wash the pads. So I told them, and they disinfected all the pads. Like that weekend, he said he got his jet wash out in the garden, poured loads of disinfectant over them all. Because obviously, we're all going to get it if, But you can get it on your feet, and that's what's known as athlete's foot. That is technically ringworm. And you can get it in your crotch area, where it's called jock's itch.
I'm not telling you where I've got it.
It's called jock itch. But it's very easy to treat with creams, sprays, powders, and pills. But ringworm.
Should I say had? Yeah.
Let's talk about the hookworm. Cool name.
Okay.
They're very rare in the USA and sort of the UK and Europe, but they're very common in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. So a hookworm enters your skin.
But a hook's like a shape, but a worm's just going to make any old shape. So why is it called hook? Is it the before we get? Let me guess here. It's the nature of what it does. It does some sort of hooking motion and sticks into you.
It's how it looks when it's inside your stomach.
Oh, right.
So it's like it hooks in. So basically, walking around in Asia, Africa, or the Middle East with bare feet, if you step on any soil that's got poop in it, you might get a worm into the bottom of your foot. They then crawl up, somehow get right up into your guts, and they will not go away until you take very, very strong treatment and medicines for them. They can make you cough. They can make you not be able to breathe very well. They can give you terrible stomach cramps. And they hook into your gut. So like they're sort of like an upside down question mark, it kind of looks like. So hookworms, not pleasant. So if you're walking around those parts of the world in bare feet, watch out. All right?
Yeah, totally. It doesn't sound very good.
Well, here's one for Matt from the Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Mind. Tapeworm. Tapeworm, tapeworm, tapeworm.
I was going to start saying, tapeworm, tapeworm, you're my tapeworm. It's like Tom Jones, isn't it?
Wow. Now, you can get a tapeworm from infected beef, pork, or fish. So any infected meats, really, apart from poultry. And if you have it, then when you poop, you will see tiny little eggs in your poo.
Oh.
And you'll see pieces of worm in the poo as well.
I don't like it.
Well, if you think that's bad, a tapeworm, can grow to 30 feet long inside you.
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
And it gives you diarrhea, cramps, and rapid weight loss.
Oh, I don't like it.
Now, it's really important you get treatment straight away, because if they're left inside you, they can cause a brain cyst, which can cause anything as low as headaches all the way up to seizures, confusion, and death.
Imagine hanging a tapeworm and die from tapeworm. How did he die, tapeworm?
My wife went to Marrakesh about 13, 14 years ago, and she drank some water that she shouldn't have done.
No.
And she got, it wasn't called a tapeworm, but it was a worm of some kind. I can't remember what it was called now. And she was so ill. I didn't see her for 2 weeks. She didn't want me to come over. She'd lost so much weight in those 2 weeks. I barely recognised her because she couldn't even barely drink water. And we got her to the doctor, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you've got a worm, a stomach worm. Like you need to take this medicine." And within like a week, she was like better again, and then managed to eat and hold the food down. But she was so ill. Man,
God.
Yeah, crazy.
Hope no one's eating while listening to the podcast.
Let's move on then to face and eye mites.
Go on.
Also known as the Demodex, which is a great name for a monster, isn't it? You've summoned the Demodex.
A hard electronic dance duo.
Oh, I'm going to see Demodex tonight. Demon Dex.
Yeah.
Demon dicks. So basically, face and eye mites are tiny, tiny spiders that you pick up throughout your life. And by the time you hit 60, you've usually got 2,000 or 3,000 of them living on your face.
Nice. Get in there, guys. Have a party.
God's really happy about it. He's got some mates.
Well, that's what to do about it.
You've also got them living in your eyelashes.
Nice.
And your eyebrows.
Have a little party.
But if you get too many of them, they can cause eye problems.
I bet they just turn racist as well.
Racist?
Oh yeah, they start like to colonise in either side. They all start changing it. They all start getting their own little countries on my face.
I'm on the right side.
And they
Yeah,
start,
I'm on the left side.
and they start getting racist.
Oh, you're getting a bit political there, Gav.
But the bugs on my face are racist. Is what I'm saying.
But they're almost impossible to see because they're so small. But they are technically spiders. So
that's why it's not a problem, and I don't discuss it.
So tell Sarah, she loves spiders. She's got lots of tarantulas and spiders.
Yeah.
We've all got spiders living on our faces.
Amazing. She
So
can hear. I don't need to tell her. You can hear that, can't you, Sarah?
Kevin's got a beard. You've got a beard. I've got a beard. So guys with beards have probably got even more of them living in our beards.
Oh, I've got a fucking rainforest in there.
So yeah, spiders on faces. Let's move on to scabies.
Excellent.
Something I love to say in Twitter podcast.
Yeah.
Sometimes known as the human itchy mite. It's got 8 legs, which it uses to burrow into the top layer of your skin.
It's not like Marmite, is it? Itchamite.
Itchamite. Do you want some Itchamite on you?
It sounds like a Japanese Marmite.
Yeah, I want some Itchamite. Pick some Itchamite. Now, their favourite areas to feed on humans are the groin.
I was going to say the bum hole.
The armpits.
All right.
Between your fingers and your toes.
Okay.
And in your belly button, Gav.
Wow.
We hate belly buttons.
I don't like it being touched.
Your body will tell you if you've got scabies because you'll get a rash. Now, you can get scabies from another person, so you can get it through sex. But you can also get it if you just touch another person's skin. You can even get it if you put on the shirt of somebody who's had scabies, or sit on a chair, or a toilet seat, or sheet.
With all these
scabies
things,
is like super contagious.
Well, with all these things, though, there was a patient 0. So what did patient 0 to do to form scabies? They're that skanky. Well, I don't, And then if you bang someone and you get scabies from banging them, that's a scabby lay right there.
Scabies. Let's move on to another one for me and you then. Belly button bacteria.
Oh no, don't like it.
In the folds of your navel, there are glands.
It's like the beginning of a movie. Is that the first lines of the movie?
In the folds of your navel, one man must survive the belly button fluff.
And it's going to be Nick Cage.
How do I get in here?
It's like in a space.
I'm in my own belly button.
Sold. Greenlit.
I want to see that. There's an episode I think I've talked about this before. There's an episode of Ren and Stimpy where Stimpy goes inside he folds into his own belly button.
Nice.
And makes friends with Jeremy the belly button elf.
I think I've seen that one.
And they become really good friends. But in the folds of your navel, glands make sweat, oil, and other things. And these things will attract bacteria and repel others. If you smell a strange smell coming from your belly button, Gav, it might mean that you've got belly button bacteria. So go to the doctor, guys. Smell your belly buttons if you can reach it. I can't get anywhere near mine. I've got
a really deep hole to my belly button.
You've got quite a cavernous.
I have. It's really weird.
I always thought that about you. Really long balls and really cavernous navel.
Picture it, ladies. Picture that. Enjoy.
My wife's got a really deep belly button as well. And my son takes after her. My daughter has an outie, but my son has a deep belly button as well. So it must be something. Gav, what's your mum's belly button like? Not something I'd ever thought I'd ask you.
No idea. I have no idea. I don't know.
But look, if you notice a funny smell coming from your mum's belly button or yours,
it's weird. If you're sniffing your mum's belly button at any period in your life, it's weird. Go see the doctor. Go see the doctor.
Oh God, goodness me!
Hip hop little throwback there. That's weird.
Okay, I think that's pretty much all of them. The one I was going to talk about is actually an urban myth, which is the one where we all know about the tiny catfish that swims up the man's Aretha Franklin if he goes swimming in the Amazon River, and then uses its little things that stick inside you, and you have to slice the penis open to get it out. That is an urban legend. There is no such fish that does that. We've all heard about it. We've seen them talk about it in films and stuff, but that isn't real. You all right there?
Yeah. I was just thinking about. I'm glad it isn't. And then you got obviously like the classic scary boyhood tale of Stand By Me and getting leeches on your dick.
Yeah. Oh God, goodness me. But those are just a list of creatures that I thought I didn't know an awful lot about. You didn't know an awful lot about. I think the most disturbing one in there is, and I haven't got anything you can do about it.
Glad I do.
Well, the only thing is I can't do anything about the fact there's a couple of thousand tiny spiders living on my face right now.
No, I don't mind though. Like I've got one over is having an orgy. That one over is a full-on 48-hour rave.
To be fair, it did say by the time you're 60, you'll have a couple of thousand. So I've got a few years yet.
I've still got some years to get some more
tag-alongs.
Some
face spiders, spider faces.
Let's do some hitchhikers.
There we go. Well, Bill, have you got anything you want to add to that, you strange man?
Whoa, we don't want to see where those bugs are. Pull them pants back up.
I thought it was Richard Gere that did that with the hamster.
I don't know about that.
All right, okay. Well, Bill, take it out and take us out of here as well.
Don't
please.
Take it out. Keep it in, but take us out.
That's all the time we've got for this week on World of Strange. Next week, though, Gimme Ira. Hairless pets. Weird.
It was a violent summer storm. Millions of volts slashed the earth.
That was the worst storm we've had since I was knee-high to a duck.
Folks talked about it and started getting things back to normal. When Mick hit town for his vacation.
Well, it's straight ahead about 5 miles.
But things weren't normal. There were changes.
Ooh, Mother bit me. I never saw him bite like that.
Strange, frightful changes. That night, it all started.
Stop doing that.
I'm not doing anything.
This was the night of the crawling terror. American International presents Squirm. They came from everywhere. Millions of writhing, seething creatures oozing out of the mire to feed on human flesh. You sweat, but you don't dare move.
Oh, no.
Terror grips every nerve in your body. You want to scream, but you can't. Your heart beats so fast, it feels like it's going to burst.
Jerry?
Squirm, a new experience in pure fright.
Squirm from 1976, rated X, an hour and 32 minutes. A storm causes some power lines to break and touch the ground, drawing millions of man-eating worms out of the earth and into town, where they quickly start munching on the locals. Ooh!
There you go.
Written and directed by Jeff Lieberman, which I recognised the name when it came up. And he actually wrote Satan's Little Helper. Have you ever seen that film?
No.
Very independent movie. Check it out around Halloween. Now, check out Satan's Little Helper. Put it on your list to watch, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote that. It's quite an interesting one. He directed a couple of things. Just Before Dawn, he did the screenplay and directed.
Nice.
Yeah. That classic ending. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Not going to spoil it. This film's alright, not too bad. Like I said before, we had this spate of in the 70s, a spate of animal horror. Everybody, they all just thought everybody was fucking scared of every animal and everything that existed. I think Jaws probably helped this. And And we've got many a bear movie, Night of the Animals, fucking
Alligator.
Got Leslie Nielsen wrestling bareback a bear in the rain. Yeah. It was a thing. It was definitely a thing which happened at a period in time. I love it. Apart from when animals are not treated well, that's the only time which is hard. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Do you like this subgenre?
Yeah, I do. I like body horror or squirmy stuff. So I like this. I like slugs. I like frogs.
I got to admit, I don't like the squirmy worms in this. It was a bit like, me and Sarah both did that.
And this was sort of, they were really finding their feet with practical effects. 1976, really finding their feet with practical effects. Brian De Palma absolutely loved this movie, which is strange because they actually sampled the squealing pigs from one of the Godfather movies as the noise that the worms make. So it's like a circle there, strange circle.
Tarantino likes it as well.
He really likes it. And I have seen it before. Probably this might be my third watch. I watched it a long time ago, and then you gave me a VHS copy, which I watched immediately, and that's what I used to watch this again.
I thought I had a VHS copy.
Yeah, I dug it out of the attic, ready for this, and it's definitely a fun watch. And you got to remember, it's 1976, very early, mid 70s, and it feels quite well produced again. It's got, like Kevin said in his email, you can really feel the heat of the summer coming through, the storm brewing. And we know what it's like just before a storm. You get like a real heat, don't you? Just before the lightning and the thunder break that atmosphere. So it's well produced. It has a bit of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type vibe because it's a small, almost redneck town called Fly Creek, which apparently doesn't exist in real life. They made it up for the film, which, nothing new there.
It's it does I feel like it has a higher sort of production value than the last film, which you can see it does. It is got more things going on.
Even though the Boogens is very well polished and produced, I understand what you mean. It feels like they had a bit more. The effects alone in this are really, really good. When you see the worms crawling in people's faces.
And obviously, who was in the makeup department.
Who was it?
Oh, really?
Tell me.
You've got Rick Baker.
Oh, of course.
Doing makeup design, and you've also got Rob Bottin as well.
Oh my God! So they were cutting their teeth on movies. That's brilliant.
Yeah, both very good effects artists.
Yeah, particularly with the Roger character who gets worms go in his face and then goes a bit crazy for the last act of the film. He looks great, like a zombie full of worms.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks really good, actually. And I have to give a shout out to Norman Page, because he is the makeup artist, where Rob Bottin is the uncredited assistant makeup artist. So this would have been early on of these guys just learning stuff, and Rob Bottin coming on possibly via Rick, getting him on, Rick Baker.
And the other thing is, they used real worms for the most part. Obviously, there's a lot of fake worms used here and there.
The effects is going to be that face off, but it looks really good.
The production would order shipments of 250,000 worms at a time, and they'd get these trucks full of worms delivered, and they just kept losing them because worms just escape. And they ended up, apparently the production of this film ended up wiping out the New England fishing industry's supply of worms for a year, because they had to buy so many worms that New England's fishing industry couldn't do anything for a year because they didn't have any worms.
Yeah.
Because this film would use so many of them.
That's crazy.
Millions and millions and millions of worms.
Now, I want to just point out again, going back to what I was saying, the actual, as I said, and we didn't really pick up on it, those guys, Rick Baker and Rob Bottin, were in the makeup department, not the special effects department.
Yeah.
So they didn't do the special effects in this. So that's really interesting, but they were just in makeup, but they must have just been using this as fucking film school.
De Palma loved it so much, he actually used it there's a poster of Squirm in Blowout.
Nice.
So he wanted to show his love of it by putting it in his movie.
That's
I know
funny.
You love Blowout, don't you?
Yeah, it's a good film.
But yeah, so it's definitely one that it's a fan favorite. It's a cult favorite. It's not one that I've watched. Like I said, this is probably my third watch. It's not one I've watched a bunch of times, but it's definitely a fun watch.
Was it supposed to be Sylvester Stallone and John Travolta?
Yes, it was supposed to be. Yes.
No,
and Kim Basinger.
Or was it Martin Sheen?
Well.
Martin Sheen and Sylvester Stallone or something like that.
And Kim Basinger was close to being cast in it as well. So you might have had a very different cast.
Yeah,
imagine Stallone.
But the guy who's like playing the sort of inbred type kind of character, do you know, the guy's just really
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. He just plays it so well. It's just like he's very, very good. They picked a very good person to play that because he looks very, very natural. I have no idea of the actor's own temperament in life, but it looks very good what he's playing.
Well, again, I think everybody does a bloody good job in this. I really like Mick, the main character, because when he first shows up, he's kind of a bespectacled sort of nerd, almost like the early... I'm the worm guy, Matthew Broderick. Funny enough, we covered in the last episode. But
I thought of Matthew Broderick as the worm guy when watching this.
Yeah, but he goes full on investigative private detective, doesn't he? When he starts trying to figure out what's going on, and then you've got the amazing chemistry between him and that horrible sheriff who's just such an asshole, and is just like taking girls back to the jail, banging them in the jail, and. So you've got a really nasty piece of work. So when the worms finally get him, you're really pleased to see that.
And what is up with that sheriff's hair? What is that? It's like all these quiffs going all over the place. It looks like a fucking in the sea. The waves in a tornado are just splashing everywhere, and they're just stuck.
Yeah, and then you've got I don't know. It's just there's a lot going on here, really.
I've got to say,
the mother, the crazy mum.
Yeah, who's just spaced out. We don't really know what's going on, but presumably she's just been like that since her husband's died or left. Yeah. We don't really know. And
then you've got the horny stone sister who's just pulling.
It's just kind of weird
joints out of her cleavage all the time.
Reminded me of the receptionist in Hostel, the guy with glasses. Don't know why. They both had the same sort of thing about them. It's really weird. And I don't know, Sarah and I both agreed on this one. That girl, she ain't worth going to all that fucking travelling for. No offence, but I don't know. Seems like a lot of effort.
Well, I don't know. He loves her, so
I guess
he loves Jerry.
That makes me sound so awful.
This film starts with this is based on a true story. Which it apparently kind of is, but isn't really, because no one ever died from worms.
The director was doing it wasn't he once upon a time with his brother or some shit like that, and they were just his dad was doing it, and he watched it and went, oh, I can make it into a movie. And just literally just watched that and went, I'm going to make a movie about worms coming up.
They even include that in the script, because Roger at one point says, my dad used to take my little toy train and put the batteries in the ground. But it's very plausible, so the basis here is there's a huge electrical storm out in the middle of nowhere, and it causes the power lines to go down. And yes, worms, as we know from Matthew Broderick in Godzilla, worms do come out of the ground when you shove a load of electricity. I think anything would, to be honest with you.
It's this movie it feels from the beginning we have all this storm going on, and it starts just like that, and it's night time, it's thunder and lightning, and just worms occasionally close-ups just screaming. And it's such a dark, somber start of the film. It's like, is this what this film is going to be? Is this setting the tone of this film? Because it is dark and bleak as fuck. It's just like there's no happiness here in this film. I thought it was going to go worse than it does, though, because it's just like, do you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden it's daytime and it's like the birds are singing and stuff. Like, fucking hell.
It isn't a happy ending for the majority of the characters in this film. No. Everybody almost gets eaten by the worms. There's a surprise at the end, but everybody else gets chowed down by these worms. And boy, when they get you, they get you. And they use really great close-ups of the worms, don't they? These worms with little mouths and teeth in them.
Yeah, they've used a very lens so you can get really in there.
And again, 1976. So yeah, rain, thunderstorm, small town. We love all of this. We get worm close-ups, strange squealing as the lightning strikes, and that's because they're being forced out of their soil. And it's the morning time. The storm's over. We've got a nice blue sky, and we get a farmhouse. And we get a lady in the shower. This is Jerry. the older of the two sisters, who lives with her mum, and they lost their dad a while back. And she's in the shower, and there's a man working outside. That's Roger, and he's sort of watching her through the window. Another pervert in this film. And Roger is secretly in love with her, although, as you said, Gav, he is a little bit of an inbred redneck. I don't know if that's a politically correct term, but he does seem like he may be the spawn of two related people. Dad owns a worm. He owns a worm farm. My dad owns a worm farm.
A country person of Inbrest.
It's very interesting. Could you tell me more?
Yeah.
He's got perving on her a bit, and she goes downstairs, and her mother goes outside and speaks to Roger and says, "Roger,
it's all very thick accents. So whereabouts is this? It's not. I don't know my dialects of America.
I believe it's around Tennessee type. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But she's like, Roger, it's real hot outside. Come in for a lemonade, that kind of thing. And Roger goes inside and has a drink, and she says, it's going to be 90 degrees today.
This beginning here is really kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of a bit lackluster for the first thing. To get me into this movie, what's going to happen? What's going on? I'm just in the kitchen, kind of just listening to a bit of dialogue. This is, I did notice that.
But Mum says to her daughter, her oldest daughter Jerry, "Oh, you've got your date, have you? Turning up in town. This guy called Mick. I don't really know how she's met him, but she knows this guy called Mick, who's on his way to meet her out in the middle of bumpkin nowhere." She says,
how has this happened? This is very much pre-internet.
There's no internet.
Yeah. What's going on here? How have they met?
I don't know how they met. I might have written it down somewhere.
And he's just like, my God, I've got to drive however far it is to you, because wow,
I've got to get a bus.
Yeah.
City boy. And they talk about the mum starts revealing her crazy nature. She's like, there was a strange storm last night, wasn't it? She talks a bit like weird, like she's not quite there. And then Alma comes in, who's the other sister, and she joins them, and she's like, oh, you're meeting Mick today, are you? Oh, great. I can't wait to see what this guy looks like.
It's all a big info dump, this kitchen.
Yeah,
it's the
basically.
kitchen info dump. Yep.
Roger comes in for a drink of lemonade, and Jerry says to him, Roger, she sort of flutters her eyelids and says, is it possible you can give me a lift to town? Or, even better, can I just borrow your truck? I've got to go and pick up my date. And he's like, I can't let you borrow the truck. It's my dad's worm truck. And basically, him and his dad, who live in the next farm, they run a worm farm where they just basically get worms and sell them. And that's how they make their living. And he says, Dad won't let anyone drive the worm truck. And she's like, oh, go on, Roger. Go on. And he's like, oh, go on then. Make sure you look after the worm truck. Yeah. So she's got the truck to go and pick Mick up. And this is where we meet Mick. So we cut to a bus travelling through the countryside. And it gets to a tree that's fallen down and there's some flooding. And the bus driver turns over his shoulder and says, looks like we're going to go back to town. The road's all got a tree in the middle of it, and there's all sort of flooding going on here.
Yep.
And Mick says, I'll get off and walk.
I see, it seems to be that he's gone to a shop on the way there and gone, I hope other people have tennis rackets, because I've got just one racket. I'm assuming they've got tennis, and I'll just pick this up. And he's just bought up random stuff, presumably from a store on the way there, or he's been sold it by someone who's looked at him and said, sucker, I'm going to sell him a load of shit.
Everybody except for Jerry hates him in this movie because he's a city boy to them. So when he says, how far is it? And they're like, 5 miles. And he's like, oh. And he goes, you probably get yourself a compass in amongst all of that. And he says, it's flooded as well. You probably got yourself a scuba gear as well. And he's sort of laughing at this boy who's got like a tennis racket and all this other stuff, like you said. So he's like, you know what, this girl's worth it. I'm going to get off. I'm going to walk for 5 miles through marshy, swampy forest now. So off I go. We get a lot of inserts of the cables sparking on the ground, just to remind us, the audience, that this film is about worms that have been electrocuted and then made killer. So it reminds us of that several times. So get a quick shot of that. And then we see Mark trudging through the woods with his bag of tennis rackets. He's probably got fucking skis in there and everything else. There's mosquitoes biting him.
Yeah, he's spraying stuff on it. He's a proper city boy, isn't he?
He falls into some mud up to his waist.
Luckily not like fucking quicksand or some shit, you know?
Well, I did think, quicksand, fantastic, because I love a bit of quicksand in a film.
Yeah.
But no, it's just mud. And that's where Jerry is. She's laughing at him. Mark.
She's just wandering around stoned out her face.
No, it's Jerry, isn't it? It's not Alma.
Oh, is it? Sorry. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But my problem here is, how the fuck did she find him? Considering his bus broke down 5 miles from where he's supposed to get off.
He didn't contact her, did he?
There's not no mobile phones. It's 1976.
She's just assumed that he's there and he's okay.
But she finds him anyway. It doesn't matter. Plot hole over, and they walk back to the farm together. They get in the truck that she's borrowed and says, "This is my neighbour's truck. He runs a worm farm." And Mark's like, "A worm farm? People eat worms?" And she's like, "No, not that kind of farm. They sell the worms for fishing and stuff."
Why would he think it's people are eating worms?
No one's milking a worm. It's like, I'm milking this worm on the worm farm.
This guy is not. We're making out this guy is a bit thick, basically, because even though he's city boy, these guys have probably got more knowledge than he has. He even says to the bus guy when he's about to get off, "Do you know where there's a toilet?" It's like, there's trees. Just go behind a tree.
He's thinking with his penis, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's come on.
He's thinking with his penis. Yeah. So they drive back to her farm and they discuss last night's crazy storm.
At no point she's like, "Right, come on, finger me in the bushes." At no point in this film.
Bloody hell.
Is she? At no point they get it on a bang. I think they kiss maybe once after he saves her.
He keeps trying it. He keeps grabbing at her, but she's like, "I'm busy."
But it's surprising. I would have thought she would be like mad for it. Oh well.
Well, on the before they get back to the farmhouse, they stop at a diner, and they walk in, and there's all the locals in there, and they're discussing the electrical problems. There's basically no electricity in town. The fridges are off. Nothing's working. No aircon. And it's all because of this big electrical storm last night. Mick goes up to the counter and says, "Hi, can I get a large egg cream, please?" A large egg cream.
Do you want a large egg cream, Dan?
And they're like, What the hell is an egg cream, boy? And he says, "Oh, it's like a little bit of chocolate with da-da-da." She says, "So you want a chocolate milk?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, but in the city, we call it a large egg cream."
Fuck off, you. When we open up, I didn't see this, Sarah spotted it out, but when we open up the shot of this restaurant, we see the sheriff and he has his hand up a lady's skirt. Yes, he's a dirty bastard. This is the lady that he'll later take back to the jail and bang in one of the beds. So he's also having spaghetti with him. Romantic. And they're eating just regular whack looking spaghetti. Now we get my favourite line in this whole film now, which is he drinks a little bit of his egg cream and then spits out and goes, "There's a worm in my egg cream." Yeah. Apparently, fans of this film, Squirmists, they're called. Wow. Or Squirmers, they love that line so much, and I think it's a brilliant line. "There's a worm in my egg cream." But rather than them apologise that, "Oh, sorry, we served you something with the worm in it." Well, yeah. The sheriff comes over and says, "Why'd you spit on the counter?" Well, before that happens, the lady, she says, "What are you doing? Do you put that there? What are you doing?" He's like, "I didn't do that. You should apologise." And she's just like, "Fuck," she's like, it's definitely for her. The customer's not right. It's really much more of like, he's an outsider. I'll do whatever I say, whatever I want to this person. I don't give a shit, sort of thing. So then the sheriff is just like, "Yep, that's true. We all get together because we're all town folk, we're all locals." It just hops up on the counter there and starts giving him shit for it. He says, "What are you, a city boy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am actually." And he's like, "Yeah, well,
why don't you get back in your truck and go back where you came from? You don't, and he's like, but what do you mean? There was a worm in my egg cream. Like, why am I in trouble?
He says, why'd you do a juvenile thing like that? And it's like, just looking at him and saying, doing a childish thing like that. It's really weird. They just don't believe him at all. They just think he's just there to pay trouble. And he looks like such a nerd. He's definitely not there to... He's not like got a long hair and a moustache or something in a leather jacket. Do you know what I mean? So, weird.
Well, he gets back in the truck. Well, they both do. And she says, well, I've got the ice I needed, because they had to pick up ice because their fridge is broke.
Because the power cut. It's the power cut.
Now, I feel so sorry for him. This is the first time he's going to meet his potential future mother-in-law.
He is going to have the smallest dick ever.
He's holding a giant block of ice. He's soaked. His crotch and his
Those
shirt
balls are going
soaked,
back inside.
and he holds it all the way back in the truck for her.
It's a really weird thing to do. Why isn't it going in the back of the truck?
Because there's worms in there.
In the back of the truck?
Yeah.
Full of worms?
It's full of worms. Boxes of worms. But...
Oh, right.
It's quite funny. When she puts the block of ice on his lap, he does go and squeal, because you would. If someone put a giant block of ice on you, you would squeal. You know what I mean? It's cold, isn't it?
There's that bit in documentary, a Charlie Sheen documentary, where he's cracked out of his head and he's trying to do a movie and he just can't get this bit right. So he's like, I know what I can do. And he just goes to the toilet, puts an ice cube up his arse and comes back again and then does the scene.
Amazing.
Yeah. That'll wake you up.
It's a classic acting technique.
It's going to give you that perk coffee can't do at that moment in time.
My favourite part of that whole documentary was when he described the time him and Nicolas Cage were really high on a plane and they knocked on the cockpit door and they let Nicolas Cage and Charlie Sheen fly the plane for a little bit. Just a passenger plane. Just fly it. Imagine hearing that on the tannoy. Bing bong. Oh, this is your captain, Nicolas Cage. I've just done 5 lines of cocaine. And this is your co-pilot, Charlie Sheen. And you'd be like, oh, we're all dying. We are dying today.
Yeah.
Imagine what they're telling their friends. So we let Charlie Sheen and Nicolas Cage fly the plane earlier. Yeah,
it's a different time.
Very different time. So we get home and Jerry introduces Mick to her mum and her sister. He says, what should I do with this ice block? She says, put it in the fridge.
I hope he's still going like, shit's so worth all this.
He grabs her and he gives her a quick kiss. And then Mum says, take him upstairs and get some of your dad's clothes. They ought to fit him. So, oh, great, this is going from bad to worse. I'm soaking wet and meeting my girlfriend, her sister and her mum, and now I'm going to wear the dad's clothes. And then she says, although he's a smaller, skinnier fella than your papa was. And it's like, oh, great, now you're dissing how I look. Jesus Christ.
He is, though.
He is. Now, Roger, he's got his truck back, of course, but he is upset because he looks in the back of it and all of the crates of worms are empty. And he tells Jerry, he says, 100,000 worms missing from my truck, Jerry. She's like, oh my God, we haven't touched the back of the truck. We just sat in the front. That's all we did. And he's like, what am I going to tell my dad now? What am I going to tell my dad? So Roger, his dad comes over and gives him an absolute roasting.
His dad's great casting. He
is.
He comes across very natural.
He's got about 3 teeth. And he says...
And that's the IQ number too.
He says to him, it is. He says to him, you don't understand, that's our living. You're going to have to dig deep for those worms, Roger. You're going to have to replace every single one of them. We can't just get another 100,000 worms.
But the acting's absolutely fine here, so this character is presumably acting a bit here. But yeah, it comes across pretty good.
Jerry and Mick drive off, and this is where she tells him about the type of worms that are in the local area called blood worms. And these worms bite. And he said, well, how do you know which end bites? And she goes, well, you'll know because it's biting you. And he's like, oh, okay, that's helpful. Thank you for that.
He must be like, I don't know what I've got myself into here. Is this my life? Is this the life I want to have straight away? I'm just going around in trucks and it's just all talking about worms. Is this the life I've just left for?
Holding blocks of ice
on my lap and just with people who don't really like me. The town that doesn't like
I've already had the local sheriff have a go at me.
I can't just go in this cafe anymore, so that's that out. So what's the plan?
Where is the only
What
place
is the
to drink
plan?
in town?
Yeah, what can I do? She's like, do you want to go to the cafe? I can't. What do you mean? I've already been banned from it. Like, already?
Because there was a worm in my egg cream.
Just turned up. Yeah, I know. I'm a bad boy for life. So
now, I didn't know what Jerry's job is, but she's something to do with collecting antiques. I don't understand it, but basically,
no, it's not defined.
She's got to go to someone called Mr. Beardsley's house because he told her the other day, I've got something real cool that I think you could help me sell. So she's like, let's go there. And he's like, I haven't had time to change. I'm still in my wet ice clothes. And she's like, too late now. Let's go. I'm late. All the clocks stopped because there's no power.
It's starting to suck.
Why did I come all the way here? I should have stayed in New York. Jesus Christ. Now, it gets even worse, Gav, because when they get to Mr. Beardsley's house, Jerry finds a human skeleton in the back garden. Mick! And Mick comes over and goes, oh my God. It's a human skeleton.
I don't know. For me, if I was I was so desperate for sex, I've gone and done this whole fucking thing, and I'm literally like days into this now, and like trying to get laid. I'm dedicated. I'm meeting family people. I'm pissing off neighbours. I'm pissing off the local sheriff.
He breaks into a dentist office in a minute as well.
That's it. I'm out of shit I'm going to do. I'm getting laid. But then I find a dead body. It's going to be like, I tell you what, though, it's kind of made it a bit more fun. There's a Scooby-Doo type shit going on here. And I'm kind of banging Velma. And that's how I'm seeing it, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Velma or Daphne for you?
Well, this one here looks like the one with glasses, doesn't it? Is that Daphne? No, is Daphne the blonde one?
Velma's the glasses.
Yeah, so this is Velma. Yeah. I reckon this is a Velma situation.
Nice. Do you ever think Scooby-Doo gang get it on in the back of the Scooby wagon?
Scooby-Doo gang bang.
Oh.
Of course.
And do you think Scooby joins in?
No, I think he probably does that awkward look and he keeps saying, look away, Scooby.
Okay.
Look away, Scooby. Not in the mirror of the van.
Shaggy's laced the Scooby snacks with weed and they're all getting stoned and he's like, come on, let's have a big orgy.
Oh, Shaggy, put Scooby out. He's still looking.
Velma's glasses have come off. There we go. They're all getting steamed up. So
Fred's mocking Shaggy for his skinny body.
There's another tangent
for
you there,
shaming.
Kevin. You never thought you'd think about
the back
the
of the
game.
mystery. We know what all the mystery is now, though, don't we? In the van,
the mystery machine, sex machine. So when they find the skeleton, he says, I think we should go and tell the sheriff. So she says, you're right, let's go. So they run off, they tell him, come see it. It's at Mr. Beardsley's house. And he's like, you better not be playing around here. When they get there, of course, the skeleton is gone. Someone's taken it. And the sheriff goes absolutely nuts.
It's almost like a Scooby-Doo episode, this is.
He says to her, if your daddy was alive, he'd tan your fanny. Now, as we all know, fanny means vagina in the UK. But in America, fanny is a butt.
You get some vagina slaps going on.
But he says to her, you stop playing around with this guy. If your daddy was alive, he'd tan your fanny.
Well, hopefully the dad's not doing the vagina slaps, because that'd be weird.
And just when it couldn't get any worse, he says, I'm going to go now. I don't want to hear any more from you. Don't pick up that phone or anything. And then as he walks off, Mick goes, don't pick up that phone or anything. And the sheriff hears him.
Yeah.
Don't wake him up anymore.
He's just like my role is to be a complete city arsehole in disguise because I don't look like that sort of character. And he's just giving shit to everybody, fucking putting worms in glasses of milk at the restaurant. It's like Sid Vicious.
Well, cut to Alma, the little sister. Now, she is quite sexual, I'd say, is the word I'd use. She's sort of sitting there with her legs open, talking to Mick, while Mick's changing into dry clothes.
Yeah, she doesn't outwardly show sexual, but she definitely... It seems to come across, she's smoking weed all the time. She definitely seems to come across as very free love.
Uninhibited.
And it is around the era, isn't it? You're coming out of the 60s, it's not too long. So this is still going to be a thing, but so yeah.
Because you wonder what's going to happen, because at one point, and they've obviously done this on purpose, at one point when she's talking to him with her legs sort of open, now she's got trousers on, but she then reaches into her cleavage, and you think, what's happening now? And then she pulls out a really massive joint. Oh, Jesus. And she says, you got a light?
You say massive joint. It's the smallest toothpick I've ever seen.
There is a later on. Maybe she's got a big joint later.
They're so thin. It's just I don't know. It seems to not be worth point. No point really.
But I bet you the weed is pretty damn strong around there.
I don't know. I wouldn't say so, but I reckon it's in abundance. So that's why.
Well, they share the joint while he gets dressed, and he asks her who Mr. Beardsley was. And basically, he's an antique dealer, and he's missing now. So he's starting to build a case in his head, he's starting to put it together. And then they go to the local bar together, and that's that. She tells him all about how, the local bar is where all the winos hang out, and they go there stoned out. Her and her friends go there stoned out of their tits and laugh at all the toothless old men.
They must be growing weed, or there's just a crop around naturally grows because they just have weed constantly.
Well, with a mum like that, they're probably growing it on their own farm because she wouldn't know what's going on, would she?
They go back to his place, and she makes her speciality. Do you know what that is? A scrambled egg sandwich. It looks disgusting.
Oh yeah.
And that's I've made my speciality. Oh, scrambled egg sandwich is your speciality. You scrambled some eggs and chucked it in some bread and butter, two bits of bread.
I do love an egg sandwich, a scrambled egg, fried egg sandwich, but it's not a speciality by any stretch.
Yeah, I would go scrambled egg sandwich.
Do you want something to eat? Yes, please. I'll get you my speciality. Packet of crisps.
Yeah.
My speciality.
It's not much of a speciality, but anyway, she says it is.
But there's a funny moment where Mick goes to this bar to ask if anyone's seen Mr. Beardsley recently. And while he's in there, the barman, who is crazy, says, yeah, I've got a few antiques kicking around here of my own. And he goes under the bar, and then he stands back up with a diver's helmet on. And he says, this old thing, dong dong, and it's real old.
We don't hear, yeah, that's good. We don't hear that much. They're like, we can't hear you. And it's just like, what is going on? What is it? Where's his character coming from?
He's really funny though, the barman.
Yeah.
It's just a fun character. They say to Roger, do you want to join us for some fishing later on? Okay, yeah, well, that's fine. Let's go and fishing with Roger. So they set a little plan in motion where they're going to start distracting Roger because they think he might be something to do with this as well.
Yeah. There isn't much worm action going on for a horror movie. There should be more horror of the thing which is the antagonist. Should be doing a bit more horror going on. It's a bit of a slow burn almost to it.
There aren't a lot of worms yet. You're right, not yet.
It does get ridiculous. It goes to its spinal tap to 11 in seconds. It's just like what?
When she opens the bedroom door and a tsunami of worms comes out.
And then the shot.
Fucking hell.
And it's a really quick shot. So you're like, why are we not hanging on this longer? That must have been a lot of effort to do. A lot of effort. Just clearing it up is effort. So can we have this shot for longer? But no.
Now, Mick's trip isn't going very well because he now has poison ivy on his leg.
Yeah.
She says, you're going to need some of this joint because you've got poison ivy all over your leg. But while he's sort of sitting there chatting in the dining room, there's a worm crawling down the wall behind him. Just a quick shot.
Yeah.
And then it's gone in the next shot. Oh, so there's your worm, Gav. There's one worm there.
It's not... Yeah, I need like someone being killed or something.
And he starts placing things together and he says, hang on a minute. The worms are missing from the back of the truck. Mr. Beardsley's missing. The skeleton's vanished. There was a worm in my egg cream. He says it so much. There was a worm in my egg cream back at the diner. Something strange has gone on here, and I think it might be to do with the worms. Stop saying egg cream. There's a worm in my egg cream. What happens next? Oh, yeah, they're trying to figure out whose bones they are. So they want to figure that out, but they find the bones, don't they, Gav?
They find a skeleton, don't they, in the trailer?
Yeah, it's in the back of the worm truck.
And they don't even decipher who it is, but we don't get to that just yet.
Yeah, so they're on the fishing boat, and Roger seems annoyed that this city boy is taking the girl who lives next door to him away from him, because I think he thinks him and Jerry are going to end up together. And Mick's plan is, I'm going to leave you two. I'm going to leave you with this rapey redneck on a boat in the middle of a lake.
It's a weird plan. It's just he's made this much effort, and then he's going to throw a lot of this effort down the drain. That she's impressing her. She's just like, he's like, no, that'd be good. You just stay with this redneck. He knows nothing of this person. He doesn't have a history of him. He knows nothing at all. And he's just like, stay with him. I'm going to go. But she knows what he's like, and she's saying no. It's like, trust her, or maybe don't do that at all. But he's like, no, I could go find some more information out. What? So you came to get laid. Yours lays there. You're leaving with some weird possible rapist, and you're just a side quest has turned into main quest, and you're like, fuck this shit. I'm going to go decipher what's going on with the dead bodies because it's more interesting than the wow I came down.
So they've got a box of these killer worms that they're using as bait, and one of them bites his thumb, and that's his excuse to go back to the shore. So he runs off to go and investigate, leaving poor old Jerry with Roger, and Roger's sort of staring at her butt and sort of dribbling. Meanwhile, the box of worms gets knocked over, and the worms start making their way along the bottom of the boat towards Jerry and Roger. And Roger's very close up behind Jerry now at this point. Meanwhile, Mick snoops around the Roger's worm farm. He finds the skeleton. He rips off the jawbone, takes off the skull, puts them both under his shirt. If this sheriff catches him, he's dead.
What? And why all of a sudden has he just decided to be, I'm fucking now a detective, and I'm going to rip fucking jawbones from skull so I can go and do a teeth fucking analysis and cross-reference? What the shit? Where has this come from?
And just when he's thinking that he's being sneaky, he bumps into stoned Alma. She's like, what you got under your shirt, Mick? And then he's like, oh, it's a skull. He just shows her. It's a skull. Look. And she says, oh, can I come with you? And he's like, yeah, why not? I could really do with the help of a 16-year-old stoned woman.
And why all of a sudden are you hanging out with the girl you're trying to get it on with, sister? Anyway, cutting back to said girl, Roger said, I've got a surprise for you.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Just
warning.
Yeah, totally. And then just grabs hold of her tightly and tries kissing her. And she pushes him over, and he pushes him right over so he falls into the boat. And earlier we had little signs of wormage going on possibly in the boat. And all of a sudden, yes, the wormage is true. It all goes around him, and he's in a swarm, and it comes out in his face.
They go in his cheeks and his temples.
Yeah.
He's got about 8 worms hanging off his face.
Really good makeup. So you got like worms wiggling out of the face.
Yeah, it's under the skin, makeup, and like actually pulsating.
And that's kind of now his look for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he's the worm guy. And they both fall in the water.
It's like a worm zombie. It's like taking over his brain.
It is. And I didn't know if that's what they were going for, particularly at the end when he's almost worming his way up the stairs and the worms are pushing him up the stairs. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's become one of them. He wades off through the water screaming in pain with these worms in his face. And that's the last we see of him for a while. She doesn't know if he's dead or alive.
And back to Mick, Detective Mick, Dick Mick. He's now going to go cross-referencing X-rays with the jawbone he's just ripped off a skull, because he doesn't care about getting laid now. He cares about hanging out with a detective with his sidekick, the stoner, and them guys just doing this whole fucking thing. So, what is going on, man? What are your priorities? What is your agenda? What are you doing?
He's all over the place. He breaks into a doctor's or a dentist's office, and Alma's like, oh, what are you going to find in here? He's like, I'm looking for an X-ray that matches this skull. And she lights a joint in the doctor's office.
She likes to join it everywhere she goes. She's fucking Snoop Dogg.
And then he holds it up to the light, the X-ray, and he says, this matches the skull with the missing teeth. This is Beardsley's skull.
Why is this? How does he know this for sure? Does he do this regularly? What is how is this the conclusion come to him so quickly?
Now, while he's talking to Stone Alma, a worm wriggles out of the skull's eye socket and away from them. He doesn't see it.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's because of the nature of worms, it would be easy just to put in a few buckets of worms and put them somewhere. They just don't do it. It really is a slow burn. It's not like there's going to be a problem like with Jaws, the shark was going wrong, so that's why it's only in it for a little bit at first. this you could put in loads of worms at any point, but you don't. You're seeing like one worm, which is such a small amount. It's like you miss it, and if you look away for a moment, you miss it. And to be honest, I did. Sarah said to me, "Oh, worms came out." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's like I didn't rewind it because I've seen a worm, and it's just one worm. So it's so funny that it's literally next to nothing to that point you say in that doorway when it's just a fucking wall of worms, actual worms, not CGI.
Now we get a really pointless shot now of Jerry in the shower, and I'm all for a shower scene, you know me. But she turns on the shower, and while she's bending over,
it's well
some
gross.
worms start coming out of the shower head.
Horrible.
But then they just vanish. They
go back up because they just put it in reverse. Yeah.
So that's that. That was the end of that scene. Pointless, in my opinion. But it kind of sets us up what happens later on to her sister, I guess. Jerry tells Mick what happened with Roger. Imagine that. How did it go on the boat while I left you with Roger? Well, he tried to kiss me and molest me. Then I pushed him over, and then some worms dug into his face.
Yeah.
Then he fell in the water and ran off screaming and bleeding.
So why the fuck why the fuck have you come down here and just left me on a boat with this dude? Like, what the shit?
Well, Alma says to him, well, I'll tell you what we were doing while you were almost getting raped by Roger and the worm guy. We found out that the skull is Beardsley's skull. She's like, what are you doing in on this? Why are you hanging out with my sister doing this investigation stuff?
It is weird.
And he says, let's go to the worm farm to find Roger. He might be still alive. No, don't go and find the rapey worm guy.
It's like if Rob Zombie did a Scooby-Doo episode.
But they drive off because they do want to find if Roger's alive or not. I don't know. They arrive at the worm farm. Mick gets out of the car and starts searching for Roger. But meanwhile, Roger's creeping up behind them in the car. We can't see him initially. We just see him in the rearview mirror. But when you do see him, he looks great. He's like a full-on, almost Romero zombie, isn't he? He looks great. Really good facial, like makeup and stuff on this.
I do find the sheriff, and like, oh my god, he's sitting there eating spaghetti. His date is eating spaghetti. So you're just the whole time going, please.
Well, just before that, the reason they go to the sheriff is because Mick finds Roger's dad lying on the ground. And he's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
And he goes over to him and his chest starts pulsating, and then he rips open his shirt and his torso is just worms. Full of worms.
This is our first sort of actual shot, of some horror. So they go to the sheriff and they find him, and the whole time you're there going, come on, it's got to be worms. At some point in a second you're going to eat a worm, and it's not spaghetti, it has to be. And it's just like, I don't understand. I guess I have to just say, it would be perfect because you've just shown that horror scene. It'd be absolutely perfect for one of them to have put a worm up to their mouth,
or even just cut to it.
Perfect.
Cut from worm to spaghetti, because there was actually there's a bit of a scene where they go to the police station and the cleaner says he's not here. I think he's gone for dinner with his date. If they'd have cut that out and they'd have cut straight from those worms straight to him going sucking the spaghetti into his mouth, because it's almost like the substance this scene now, because there's a lot of close-ups of spaghetti being sucked into mouths,
which is it's trying to get you to go like it wants you to want the worms. But it's weird because you've just had a scene where you've shown loads of worms. So why are you now hiding it? Just show us a fucking worm. It's like, going into mouth would be perfect because the sheriff's a dickhead and we want that. But
he's poking the bear now though, because this sheriff's already been annoyed with him a couple of times. Now he's going up to him telling him the skeleton was Mr. Beardsley, Roger is missing, and his dad is dead. And he's like, You've got about 20 minutes till we finished all of this spaghetti, son. That should be enough of a head start for you to try and start getting out of town before I hunt you down.
What is he, John J. Rambo?
20 minutes before I finish my spaghetti. That was Liam Neeson, and I went straight to him.
I know.
You've got 20 minutes before I finish my spaghetti bolognese. If you're not out of town by the time I've eaten this final meatball, I will find you. I will kill you.
Mr. Neeson, the garlic bread's going to be another 20, so you better change that.
Okay, it's going to be 40 minutes, and then I might have a tiramisu for dessert.
No tiramisu, Mr. Neeson, I'm very sorry.
Oh, for God's sake, do you have any cheesecake?
No.
And he just goes in the kitchen and just takes them all out.
Yeah. Cheesecake massacre.
Taking worms. Cheesecake Massacre.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. I'm surprised. That'll be out soon. The amount of stuff he's doing at the moment.
He's probably actually making it as we know. He's just rapped on it 10 minutes ago.
That's that done. That's the Cheesecake Massacre. What do you mean there's a script for part 2? Okay, I'll do it. Or maybe it's taken 4 is they've taken his cheesecake. They took him. They took his wife. They took his daughter. Now they've taken his cheesecake. Those bastards.
Yep.
There we go. He goes into the bar. Sorry, no, we've done that bit already.
Dinner table.
Where are we at? That's right. They go back to the Beardsley's house. I don't know why he's like, I've got to go back there. I've got a feeling I'll find out some information if we go back there. He's not Magnum PI. Why is he doing this fucking investigation?
I don't know where
stuff?
it's come from. At no point has he didn't say early on, like, so tell me about yourself when they're walking through woods. I'm really into being a detective. I fucking love Columbo.
I watch Columbo all the time.
I fucking love it. I'm just well up for waiting for. I'm like, I want a case. But you're not actually a private investigator. No, I'm just a dude. But I want a case anyway. Wow.
I'm actually just a tennis guy from New York.
And I got a tennis racket. Do you have a tennis racket? No.
No, while they're at Beardsley's farm looking around, he does find some bloody clothes on the floor.
At the dinner table, though, it was like maybe a bowl of like black beans or some shit, but it was, apart from that, it was a bit of bread and 2 chickens. So what's going on with this? What's going on with this dinner?
He hears a noise coming from behind a door, like a shed door. He goes to open the door, but he doesn't. And what we hear is like the sound of, I guess, worms. You hear like a millions of worms, but he doesn't open the door. And he figures out, because he's a detective, Gav, just by looking at these bloody clothes and hearing that noise, the worms did it. I figured it out.
Yeah,
the worms did it. Then they have to go home and have dinner with their crazy mum.
Yeah, this is the dinner which I was just speaking of, because this is where the tree randomly falls in the house, correct?
Yep.
Well, oh, God, yeah. So weird. So why is this happened now? I know, I understand, but he didn't have any shots beforehand building up to it. It just happened. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, so it's dinner time. They're sat around the dinner table. They all know that there's a lot of dead bodies. Mum has no idea. She's just cross that her young daughter was annoyed about making the dinner.
She makes it so uncomfortable.
She's like, you should have made the dinner for him. He's a guest in our house.
He's been there for what, a couple of days now. He must be like, I haven't even got a hand job. I don't know if this really is worth it, but I've got a detective case that I wanted. I've got it. I've taken it on.
She says to her youngest daughter, make sure it's a good dinner, because it's been many years since we've had a couple of hungry men around the dinner table in this household. Because she's invited Roger as well. She's got a soft spot for the local nutbag that lives next door on the worm farm. However, obviously Roger's not coming to dinner because we know he's running through the woods with worms in his face. It's a really, 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 I've written here, it's a really weird atmosphere.
Yeah,
right, dinner.
It's really
because Mum's acting more and more detached and mental.
Yeah.
And just when things couldn't get any worse, and to be honest with you, I've been to many a dinner party where I've wished this would happen just to make things more interesting, or just so I could go home. A fucking tree just cleaves through the middle of the kitchen on top of the dinner table out of nowhere.
It's quite a bizarre choice.
And it's because of the worms trying to get in the house, and they've uprooted the tree. Because they go outside and have a look, and underneath the tree, there's just a ton of worms squirming around. And he runs off to go and get a torch, get some gasoline. We're going to burn them. And when he comes back,
they've gone.
The worms have all gone.
Back in the ground.
I've written in brackets here, how fucking fast are these worms?
They're super worms. They're the super fast worms.
Fuck me, they're super fast.
They're like, he's gone, go. You've probably got one which is the leader, shouting out commands, keeping an eye on all the people. Let's make it really mysterious for them. Go, eerie,
tip
come
this
on,
tree,
people.
Guys. You're nearly there. Yes, tip the tree, we've done it. No one is actually hurt, considering a tree smashed through the kitchen table, but that they were all eating around. No one's hurt.
No one pissed themselves.
They're all fine. Jerry and Mick are really confused about what's going on. And then again, just out of nowhere, light bulb, he says, I know what it is. It's the power lines.
And who are you? Why are you who have you? Where are you? You're not Indiana Jones. Look at you.
He remembers that Roger told him his dad used to use his toy train to get worms out of the ground. So he puts it all together.
It's strange casting. I feel like this should be cast by a different character, to be honest with you. It's a bit
I'd love
weird.
to have seen
someone
I'd love to have seen
more, you know.
Stallone. Imagine a Stallone doing it.
A young Stallone. Hey, come on. It's the worms.
He says to Jerry, right, I'll go off and do some more investigating now.
Why?
Don't tell your mum about any of this.
What? Why?
Like,
what's going on?
She doesn't have a clue.
How
she
do you
doesn't have
know
a clue about anything anyway.
Why tell your mum? What's the matter? What's your involvement with her mum? Nothing.
So while Mick's off doing his Magnum PI, the three girls, the mum and the two daughters, they start tidying up the house. They've got a tree in the kitchen to sort out. But rather than help, Alma says, I'm going to go for a shower.
Stoner.
And her sister says, well, there's no hot water, so good luck. So she goes upstairs, and what comes out the shower again?
Worms.
Mum notices from the tree that there's a little hole in the ceiling.
A little glory hole.
We know what's going to fall out of this glory hole at some point. And it's not Kevin's bacon. That's Kevin Bacon, not Kevin S. Wife's bacon. It could be either. Mick says, I'm going to go and grab some wood to board up the house. Where's the nearest place I can get wood? And she's like, there's a sawmill a mile away, but how are you going to carry the wood back? And he goes, I'll just figure that out when I get there. He's got no plan, this guy.
I don't understand. I reckon this guy is actually having a mental breakdown and come out of a relationship. He's probably got a family of 2 children that dependent on him. All of a sudden, he's just like, right, that's it. You don't want me around. To the wife that is taking it really badly. He's like, fuck it. All of a sudden, just answer the fucking random thing in a shop saying, city man wanted to come down to a redhead down here to, I don't know, probably get it on, but I don't know, at some point, but just come down, hang out. Oh, and he's like, yeah, and then they just communicated telepathically together, and they just met in the woods, and then he's just turned into a detective. It's very bizarre,
but it's what makes this movie fun. We're having a lot of fun talking about it, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's better than it not being a boring movie, you know.
So he's carrying this massive piece, and I mean massive piece of wood.
Is he supposed to be trying to be Schwarzenegger? Because there's a bit later on where he's got his t-shirt, he's set on fire, and he's walking through the woods with a stick. Is he trying to be Predator?
I know.
Arnie.
Well, he does his commando with this bit of wood on his shoulder, but he's attacked.
He's like
Roger attacks him.
But this is like 70s, so he's pre-Arnie. He is basically Arnie. We called him Carney.
Oh, the worms. It's the worms.
The worms. Sounded more like Dracula.
They want to suck your blood.
The worms are coming for you.
Roger attacks him, throws him down into a gully, and he looks all wormy. Because he does. He looks so all wormed out right now. And we don't know if the worms are getting to his brain or what right now, but he's acting like an absolute crazy worm man. He throws the giant piece of wood down on top of Mick's unconscious body.
They just throw stuff at him.
And then that's all we see of Mick for now. Now, cut back to the bathtub. She's left the bath running because she's a stoner, Gav.
Yeah.
She's come back downstairs. And the bath is overflowing with worms at this point. Netflix must have set up for this. Bring more buckets in. We need more buckets of worms. We're almost ready to shoot.
It goes back up the candlelight, and it's very slow walk up the stairs. The camera in front, and she walks along. So the camera's going backwards, and she's walking towards the camera, walking along with a candle to her face. It's quite good, actually. It's quite nicely done.
Yeah, because her mum says, "What's that noise?" And she says, "Oh, I've left the bath running." So she goes back up there.
I don't like the sound that they kept making for the worms. It's kind of this.
Yeah,
it's just weird sound. And yeah, she just opens the door, and this is our shot of the fucking a wall of worms, and like it's such a quick shot though. I don't know why they didn't leave it hanging.
I'm guessing it probably wasn't real worms for this, but
I don't know.
But somehow they got a door. What's a door? 6 6.5 foot,
Yeah.
7 foot. They got at least that many high worms, and they just fired them all out the door. Like it's a tsunami of worms when you open the bathroom door. It looks great, and it's also disgusting at the same time.
I like the fact that the sheriff is now like, yeah, great, I'm getting it on in one of my cells with the lady. Yeah, brilliant. We've eaten spaghetti. Now we're getting it on, and he's just gonna be swamped by this. Just next to him, and he doesn't notice. It's literally just next to him. Loads of worms coming in the police cell. Loads.
She says to him, he says, what do you think of the accommodation? Because they're in the jail. And she's like, oh, what's the food like? And he's like, oh, the bread and water you can eat. And they're like, he's just a dirty old fucker, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's horrible. But Mick wakes up in the pit, and there's worms all around him everywhere. So, yeah, this is where he goes all Ash from Evil Dead, rips off his shirt, makes a torch out of... How does he light it? With his lighter, I suppose. He lights his shirt on a stick. And he realises that the light...
He might even have X-ray eyes, for all I know.
He uses the fire, and it repels the worms. So he realises the worms don't like the light, which is why they're hiding in the darkness and in the dark soil. But he can't find his glasses. He does have Elmer. He can't find his glasses, so he has to just climb out the gully and hops back with his bad leg back to the house with a flaming torch like a hero. Meanwhile, back to the sheriff. Pretty disgusting. She's feels something. I don't know where she feels it. I think you can probably guess.
Yeah.
Oh, stop doing that. And he's like, I'm not doing anything. She goes, you're doing it again.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, then she gets annoyed, and it's like, I wonder where he's going. He might be going down south.
It's like that movie where the rat goes in the woman's sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And crawls in her. What movie was that? I think that was a Fulci movie.
Possibly.
I don't remember now. Yes, the worms start pouring in the room, the jail's vents, and yeah, they get killed by the worms, which is great. And the last shot of that is just a toilet overflowing with worms. It's just not a nice shot, really. Then we cut to the bar, the local bar, and all the locals are in there, and it's night, and it's all the lights are out, so there's no electricity, and they've all got candles. And then one of them says, "What's that sound?" And then he holds his cigarette lighter near the floor, and it's like that Indiana Jones bit where the floor is just worms wiggling. So they all get on the bar and start screaming.
It's quite cheaply done here because the camera's down low filming upwards, then it's just shots close-ups of worms. You never see it at the same time, so I presume they at that point they're like, let's get through this quicker, we don't need to put any actually worms here at the moment.
I assume they all die in the bar because I think everybody in the town is going to get wiped out. Back at the house, Roger, the zombie Roger worm guy, is peeking through the window at Jerry, so he's still there. Yeah. What's he thinking now?
Yeah.
She's already said no to you on the boat. She's not going to want you now. You've got a face full of worms. But he's peeping in the windows. Jerry starts seeing worms everywhere, and she says, where's Alma, Mama? Where's Alma? She's upstairs having a bath. And then Roger suddenly just grabs Jerry. Mum has no idea any of this is going on. She's sitting in the armchair knitting or something. Just no idea that her daughter's been attacked by a zombie monster worm guy. The other daughter's been missing upstairs. No. There's a tree in the kitchen, Mum. There's a fucking tree in the kitchen.
No, well out of it.
Didn't care. She must be on some good meds. Mick arrives home and he sees billions and billions of worms all around the house. Shirtless Mick, I might add. He walks inside the house. He's Jerry! And the floor now is just all worms, and it does look really gross.
He finds Mum wormed.
Yep.
Mum's been wormed. Wormified.
Wormified in... It's just like... It reminded me a bit of... Stephen King's character in Creepshow when he gets all the moss all over him.
Geordie, whatever. Yeah.
Geordie, it's just all over him. But again, the light repels them, so he uses the light to part the worms like the Red Sea.
So I want to know what's going on here. Why did Roger become king of worms, or just not even king of worms, just one of them, but a human one? Why not anyone else? And why? What's his agenda? He all of a sudden still wants the woman, so he's tied her up in a loft. And we got our weird guys coming from City who really must want to get laid at this point now. He's put a lot of effort into this whole scheme.
Yeah, because Mick goes upstairs. Now, this is very confusing because there's this. It sounds like he hears singing coming from the attic, but it's actually the score. But it's confusing. They shouldn't have used a voice because it's like a little girl going la 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 la.
I thought it was supposed to be up in a loft. Them trying to put him up.
But I think it was
Roger
just the
coaxing
score.
him up just so they could kill him. It's such a weird thing. It's weird.
But Roger pulls him up into the attic and he sees that he's got Jerry up there, tied up. Don't know what he's planning on doing. Maybe infecting her with worms. Maybe just, I don't know. But then he fights Mick, and Roger falls down into the floor and is eaten by the worms. We think Mick cuts Jerry down. They climb down the ladder, but Roger's still alive in the worm sea. The sea of worms.
Creepy.
And he's sort of swimming through these worms. And, at this point,
It's
her entire family are dead.
A really good horror shot of him, his head and shoulders just above like a load of worms with his wormy face. It's quite disgusting.
Then somehow the worms push Roger up the stairs, or he is a worm because it looks like he's sort of worming his way up the stairs. But I think it's the sea of worms pushing him up the stairs.
It's so weird. It's actually really quite disturbing. Actually, if you look at it, I was like, this is really disgusting.
And they're climbing out the window, Mick and Jerry, and Roger bites Mick on the leg.
And it's and just before he bites him, his head sideways, and he opens up his mouth. It's such a good shot. I was like, that's really proper horror movie. It is stuff
disturbing.
There.
It is.
Yeah.
But Mick clubs him to death with a flashlight.
Yeah.
And then they climb out the window into a tree. And they wait there, and then the morning comes.
And they fall asleep, and then just some guy doesn't think anything of these two people and calls them lovebirds because assumes that they're in love, so they sleep in trees. Hey, what?
He says, "Hey, lovebirds, just to let you know the power's fixed." He said, "God damn it, this entire town has been without power. You'd think someone would pick up the phone when the lines were fixed, but no one has. I've tried ringing, and not a single damn phone in this town is picking up."
Yeah.
The worms are all gone. So we assume as an audience, the entire town have been wiped out, leaving just Roger, just Mick and Jerry. But all of a sudden, Alma pops out of a big chest, and she's been hiding. She probably fell asleep, stoned, to be honest with you.
Probably.
Probably thought it was the bath, got in it, and she's still alive. And then they see her. She runs in the house. They reunite, and that's the end credits. So actually, Alma, Jerry, and Detective Mick to survive. This is bizarre. This film. It should just be a straightforward creature feature, but the fact that you've got Mick who goes rogue detective halfway through,
it's a very complex thing going on.
You've got Roger the Worm Girl. We don't know if he's infected in the brain with worms, if he is the king of the worms, or if the worms are controlling him, just pushing him along. Crazy mum. Horrible sheriff.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, this film. If you've never seen it, guys, you've got to check it out. It is just out there.
Out of the other one we watched, it's got a lot more crazy shit going on. So just breaking it down with you here and just trying to work out the actions of people, which we still don't know why. At the end of it, we don't know why Mick's just gone into some fucking everything you can think of. Bruce Lee, James Bond, fucking everyone. Where's this come from? But we go along with it and it's kind of fun. So yeah, thumbs up for this one. I'm probably not going to do repeat viewing too much of it myself, but it was fine to watch as a movie, so thank you, Kev. I didn't dislike them like you probably thought I was going to. The other one, the earlier one, was more a little bit slower for me, but and not so much going on. But this one, it was a lot more sort of fun. There's a lot of crazy shit going on, and quite gross at times. And some of those shots are quite horrific. Like proper, you can imagine those as photographs in like Fangoria or that sort of thing. Yeah, good.
Yeah. All my cards on the table. I actually went into recording with you for this episode, liking the Boogens a bit more, but now we've talked through Squirm. I think Squirm is the better movie.
Yeah, it's better. It's got more.
Yeah,
it's more
I
money,
really like
more money
Boogens
to
though.
it. Yeah,
I did like the Boogens.
Cool.
It's fun, and I'll go back to them
It's got
both.
a certain charm to it for sure. And I think if some people would be like, "Oh, this is perfect," they'd really get it.
But thank you, Kevin. Really, you always pick. Well, I mean, all of our patrons do, but really crazy, wonderful films. I'd never seen The Legacy before. You picked that one, and I'd never seen The Boogens, and you picked that one. So I'm really, really pleased to review these, and that's why I love doing the patron picks. So that's that. Thumbs up from us both for both your movies. We'll take a short break now.
Get out of it. Yeah. And we're back again.
And we're back again to say goodbye.
Bye.
Well, first of all, I need to remove the crown from Kevin. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your picks. I'll pop that back in the box, ready for the next patron in a few episodes' time. But that's been a fun one. That was episode 184. Let's talk about what's coming up next, Gavster.
Yep. Tell me.
Our next episode is our Halloween episode.
Oh, it is indeed.
Episode 185 will be our Halloween special. We'll be talking all things Halloween.
Spooky.
And as has been tradition for many years now, we will be covering the next installments of A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. So we'll be covering A Nightmare on Elm Street, the sixth one, which is called Final Nightmare, from 1991.
Don't remember it at all.
And we'll be covering Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995.
See, there's these times you think there's only a short amount of time on this planet we're here, and then you have to cover Halloween 6 producer's cut, and it makes you go, oh my god, question everything.
But that means next year we'll be able to do Halloween H20.
Yeah, I know.
Which is great.
Okay.
So that's what's coming up for our next episode. After that, episode 186, we'll be going found footage on your ass with Ghost Watch from 1992 and the similarly themed found footage in a TV studio, Late Night with the Devil.
Amazing. Both really good. Really interesting talks, both of them.
Yeah, 1992 and 2023. A huge gap in them, but similarly themed, and I'm really looking forward to watching those and talking about them with you. And after that, episode 187 will be a director's special. Mr. Fulci. We'll be looking at Fulci. We'll be covering two of his more less batshit crazy, but still batshit crazy films. City of the Living Dead from 1980 and 1981's The House by the Cemetery.
Oh, that's interesting.
I love both of those. A lot of crazy, weird bugs in those as well. So, good zombies. We can get in deep down with Mr. Fulci and find out all about how he does his thing and why he does what he does and his style and all that kind of stuff and his back catalogue. You know how it goes. So that's what's coming up. Halloween episode next, then found footage, followed by a Fulci episode. So 3 great episodes coming out.
And we'll be Nightmare on Elm Street 6, did you say?
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that not Freddy's
The Final
Dead?
Nightmare. Yeah, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Oh, okay. Thought it was a different title.
It was the one that they sort of teased was going to end the franchise. And actually, they did only make one more after that, unless you include Freddy versus Jason, which was 2 more after that. But yeah, so there's only really 2 more Freddys after that one. And there's a couple more Halloweens. I don't think we'll go past the original series, though. I don't think we'll be getting into Rob Zombie territory or the remakes.
Oh, well, that's funny, interesting, because it would have been interesting to have a conversation about the Rob Zombie one.
I mean, we could do the Rob Zombie 1 and 2.
I don't know about part 2, but I think part 2 is we've got a lot of problems. It's hassled a lot by the studio.
Well, I'll tell you what we could do, Gav. We could do the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake and Rob Zombie's Halloween. Because I've only ever watched that Nightmare on Elm Street remake once. I remember thinking it was absolutely awful.
No, let's not do Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
No way. We've done our bad.
No, we have a private. I'd like to do conversations we can have a good films we can have a good conversation about.
Yeah, totally.
I think Rob Zombie's Halloween, I think, is justified for a good conversation.
I quite enjoy it.
Interesting look at it, and it's someone's just taking it a different way. So yeah.
That's what's coming up next. Before we say our goodbyes and good nights, though, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping and admin, and then we can say goodbye to everybody. Okay. So as always, we've been the podcast on a haunted hill. We're a proud member of Legion Podcast Network, and we fall under the Deadbolt Media umbrella. You can find out more about Legion Podcast if you go to legionpodcast.com. Us and all the other shows on the network are on there with all of our past episodes, all the way back to number 1, all those many years ago.
Yeah.
We are contactable on email, the podcast on Haunted Hill at outlook.com. Send me messages, questions, queries, nudes, whatever you want. And we're also on Facebook. The Facebook page is just the podcast on Haunted Hill. It's a really great time to be on the Facebook page. It's October. Everyone's doing their 31 days of Halloween. Some people are doing 1 film. Some people are doing 100 films. Some people are listening to music, reading comics, playing horror video games. Whatever it is, post it on there. We love it. We love seeing everybody get involved in the spooky season. And the same with Legion. Legion have their own Facebook page as well, Legion Podcasts. You can join that page as well. And that way you can find out about the other shows and what they're up to as well over the spooky season. Wherever you're listening to us now is where you can continue to listen to us. We're available on Spotify, YouTube, Podknife, Podbean, Apple, and all the other usual podcast platforms. You can also check out Gab's other show that he does with Sarah, which is called
The High Strangers Podcast.
The High Strangers Podcast. And you've got a big 100 episode coming up at some point.
Sarah's been really shows. Nazis and the occult.
Which is a huge subject, which is why it'll be worth the wait, I think.
Yeah, it's just taking a moment to get done.
And although they're not on Legion, just very quickly, I did mention Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Minds. We'll give them another shout out. Do check their show out as well. They cover 1 film from before the 2000s and 1 film from after the 2000s. And the hosts pick one of each, and they sort of swap it around each time. And they have lots of other little fun segments on there as well. They're great. And sometimes I pop up on there.
Yeah,
which is fun. And we're on Instagram, the podcast on Haunted Hill Insta, which is where we promote our episodes with a little collage and a link. And Deadbolt. Deadbolt is our little production company. If you can find out more about what we do and are doing and have done, if you go to deadboltfilms.com.
Yep.
You can find out all about the short films, feature films, comics, the other podcasts that Gav does, this podcast, many other things on there. And there's a YouTube channel, which is a great place to go and check out things like Amanda, our feature-length found footage that we did.
Yeah, if you like found footage, it's Halloween spooky time. Give it a watch, please. The numbers look good for us. We haven't got many numbers. Only got a few thousand hits. I'm hoping for a lot more than that, but obviously we always are. But it's a case of just advertising and telling people all the time, continuously, and it's a full-time job in itself. But anyway, please have a watch for that.
And during October, if you've only got 10 or 15 minutes to spare, then check out Sanctuary Moon, which you can also watch on our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Sanctuary Moon is a Star Wars horror film. If you like Predator and you like Stormtroopers and Star Wars, you will probably enjoy that. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the YouTube channel is Deadbolt Films. Finally, Instagram, Deadbolt Films. Just follow us on there. That way you can find out what we're doing. We post up little projects that we're working on and things like that. And, of course, Patreon. If you would like to support us in a financial way, like Kevin S5555, the patron. There's that weird echo reverb. Then you can just join us and become a patron supporter for as little as £1 or $1 a month. You can become a supporter, and you will get to pick your 2 films for us to watch. We go through all of our patrons in rotation, so everybody gets ago, and I think this was Kevin's third time, as he said now. That's how long he's been a supporter. You also get a free t-shirt. You get exclusive content through that we've done in the past and that we're going to be doing again soon, and access to our entire back catalogue, as well as a shout out at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So
Thank you very
to
much.
all of our patrons, I will thank you all now and wish you all a spooky season, to everybody, but especially to our patrons. So thank you very much to Sheila. Thank you to Dante, Don Collier, Matthew Godley, Jamie Jenkins, Kevin S. Fife, Sarah Kay, Rachel, RJ McCready, and Lex Boo. Thank you all so much for your support.
Massively appreciate it.
And thank you to everybody who listens, reviews, shares, likes, whatever else it is you do, even if you're just on the Facebook page, or even if you just said, oh, you do a podcast, Dan or Gav, that you've never listened to it. It doesn't matter. You've heard of it. It's fine. Me and Gav are sadly both wearing our Podcast on Haunted Hill t-shirts tonight.
It's funny. I don't normally wear it, and I was like, that'll do. I pulled a t-shirt out just before we came on air, and Dan came on a video, and I was like, so we...
Yeah, t-shirt bros. Yeah, so that's it from us, really. Thank you to everybody. Enjoy your spooky season. Post up what you're watching.
Yeah.
And stay spooky as much as you can. We'll be back soon with our Halloween episode.
Yeah, enjoy this month. Our Halloween episode is always a fun one. We will be back to do that. But yes, enjoy watching some films, watch some TV, listen to a creepy podcast. There's all many things you could do. Watch an episode of Scooby-Doo, enjoy.
So it's a good night from Roger, being shoved up the stairs by a big sea of worms trying to bite you in the leg.
It's good night from a dog which is loved, should be loved.
Tiger, no one liked him.
Oh.
It's a good night from that hot girl in the Boogens who unfortunately got eaten in the pantry by a weird...
It is a shame.
Thing.
It is a shame.
Know what it was.
I know. And it's good night from you.
And it's a good night from me.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to the podcast on Haunted Hill. We will be back again real soon.